Again. ठीक है, आप देख लीजिए आपका कोई शेयर कर दो। सबको अपन स्टार्ट वीडियो का में ऑप्शन है, वो स्टार्ट वीडियो और ऑडियो को ऑन करो, क्योंकि वो आवाज किरकिरा आता है ना, इसलिए वो ऑफ करके रखो।
morning and welcome. Shanmugam.
Good morning. Good morning.
We'll wait for the others to join. We'll start.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning,
Sir.
Dr. Shashi Kumar.
Sir, how are you, sir?
How are you? Yeah, now you are okay.
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
How is your family?
Fine, sir. Now she's okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Hazarji. Morning.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Siddiqui. Good morning, Professor Suvarni.
Hello, good morning, Professor Shivasarup. How are you?
We are fine. We are fine. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure to meet you and participate in your program.
This time also it is good. We got more than 300 participations
Wonderful. Wonderful.
from all across. you meet my senior colleague, Dr. Shanmugam from Delhi.
Hello,
Dr.
Professor
Shanmugam.
Shanmugam.
Yeah. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
He is Professor Suvan Kulkarni from Bombay IIT.
Okay. Very nice to have you, sir.
Same here. Same here.
He was with us, Professor Suvan Kulkarni was with us for all the years in that Royal Society of Chemistry activities.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and most importantly, I had a pleasure of visiting Professor Shiva Swarup in Nagpur, and we had a very, very nicely organized RSC program.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning, Professor Sanjeev.
Sir, good morning, sir. Good morning. Why is it not taking my... Yeah, I'm here.
Professor Suvarna, he is Professor Sanjeev Kumar, Professor
Hello,
of
sir.
Physical Chemistry in IGNOU, New Delhi.
Nice.
He is
Nice.
Professor
Hi.
Suvan Kulkarni, Professor Sanjeev from Bombay
Hello,
IIT.
sir. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you.
Hi.
So, Professor Sanjeev, can you tell me what you're going to talk about so that I can avoid that part?
Sure. Basically, as I talked to Dr. Shiva Swarup, basically my requirement is that our students of BSc, I want to just tell them what to look for and where to look for.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay,
That
great.
is the basic point.
Great. I think
About the resources, what we and maybe something at CEC and things like that.
very nice. I'm not talking
So
about
that's
that.
what I want intending to do. Oh, that's fine. Perfect. Yeah.
And Gomati, I guess she will talk about from her title. Professor Shiva Swarup, is Gomati going to join now or she's going to come late?
I told her to join. We will see. Otherwise, we will start it in 2 minutes.
Because I think she will talk about the online platforms and maybe like you, maybe some resources for students.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's what I told.
Okay.
Each one will be doing their own. So share
Yeah.
your own experiences. And it will be like by students. They will pick up whatever is useful for them.
Yeah, true.
So, okay, I think it's a little warm now.
Yeah.
In the morning, it was fine.
Yeah.
But right now, it is a bit warm. Let me get off. And actually, in the office, there is some kind of a function for Diwali. And that also happens to be online. And
Okay.
there's too much of noise there. So I came back home.
So
I thought I'll sit in my room and do it from here.
you are working in IGNOU, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm at IGNOU. Yeah, I'm in the campus only.
Okay.
He is at Delhi.
Okay.
Earlier, he was in Delhi University.
Hmm.
Later joined IGNOU.
So now that we have time, can I just check 1 minute if I am able to share my screen?
Please.
I have allowed all the participants to share. You can share. Just check it. Gomti also joined. We will start it.
She has joined?
Yes, she joined.
Okay, great.
It is shared. We can
Shared,
see
right?
our screen. Yes.
Can you see my screen?
Yes. We can see.
Wonderful. Okay. So I will stop sharing. Yeah, thank you.
So, good morning, Dr. Gomati.
Good morning, sir.
Please switch on your video so that yes. So you know Professor Suvan Kulkarni.
Yes.
You are both are from Bombay.
Yes.
And Dr. Shanmugam is our director from IGNOU New Delhi. And the other one is Professor Sanjeev Kumar, Professor of Chemistry in IGNOU New Delhi. So I think our list is over. So we will start it. You know, this is live on YouTube and Facebook also. We have people watching on that. And so I request Dr. Shashi Kumar, my colleague ART, to give a welcome address to the resource persons.
Very good morning and a warm welcome to you all. Today, on behalf of Indira Gandhi National Open University and on behalf of Regional Center Nagpur, I welcome you all to this national webinar on chemistry education through technology. I sincerely thank all the guests and all the participants who are joined with us today for this webinar. And I feel very proud to welcome our chief guest, Dr. M. Shanmugam, Director, Regional Service Divisions, IGNOU New Delhi, and the eminent professors from Professor Suvaran Kulkarni, Professor of Chemistry, IIT Bombay, and I also welcome Professor Sanjeev Kumar, Professor of Chemistry, IGNOU New Delhi, and Dr. M. Gomati Sridhar, Head Department of Chemistry, BKKM College of Commerce and Economics, and I also welcome my Regional Director, Dr. P. Sivasarup sir, who is Regional Director, IGNOU RC Nagpur, and my colleagues from Study Center, Dr. Siddiq, Coordinator, IGNOU Study Center, Institute of Science, and Dr. Shakti Sharma, Coordinator, IGNOU Study Center, Sadabai Raisani College of Women, and Dr. Shubhadip Haldar, Assistant Coordinator, IGNOU Study Center. And we, as you all know, that IGNOU RC Nagpur used to have various webinars on various topics, and today we have been taking the topics of chemistry education through technology. This is one of our favorite topic to our regional director, since he is the faculty of chemistry, and I hope ensure that the webinar will be more informative and useful to all the participants who are presented over here, because we have been with us like most eminent professors from the IIT Bombay and then from the even from IGNOU. And I once again thank each one of you for your presence to grace this occasion on this seminar webinar. I thank you very much. Now I request Dr. P. Sivasarup sir to talk about the objectives of the webinar. So thank you, sir. Just hand over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Shashi. So, good morning to all. I welcome you all to this national webinar on chemistry education through technology. At the outset, I welcome Dr. Shanmugam, President of today's inaugural function and Director, Regional Services Division, IGNOU New Delhi. And also, I welcome Professor Suvaran Kulkarni, who is a long associate in our activities at Nagpur, and Professor Sanjeev Kumar, IGNOU New Delhi, Professor of Chemistry, and Dr. Gomati Sridhar from Mumbai. All my colleagues at Regional Center, Dr. Shashi Kumar, Venkateshwarlu, Shekhar Rajguri, and my colleagues at the study centers, Dr. Nakri Siddiqui, Dr. Shakti Sharma, Dr. Subhajit Haldar, and all the participants who are watching this program through YouTube and Facebook. And I thank all of you for your wholehearted support in bringing out this webinar. And the objective of this webinar is, as such, technology is intertwined into the education long back, but the current situation of COVID-19 has brought technology into more prominent place in a day-to-day activities, every activity, including education. And every school, every college, they are using technology for imparting education. And when we think of, and even students also have become more acquainted with the use of technology, equally teachers. But if you have seen the flyer we have sent, there is a picture we have included. Whatever resources you have, if until they are used effectively, it is of no use. So many times the students, and also I should tell you, leave aside the metro cities, the people, teachers at various places, they are also not aware of the resources available. So this seminar is mainly meant to give a glimpse of such available resources to the both students and teachers. And I am sure that with the galaxy of the experts we have as a panelist in this, and it will be very useful for all the students. And I am happy that for this theme has evoked great response. And
यामध्ये एक आश्वासन सगळ्या देशाला आठवते ते म्हणजे कोरोनाची लस मोफत देण्यात.
And we have around more than 300 registrations starting from Maharashtra, Nagpur mostly, and also from Aurangabad, Mumbai, and other places. And this is a true national webinar. We got representations and registrations from Jammu, Srinagar, Delhi, Haryana, Punjab, Jaipur, Rajasthan, and also from the eastern part, Calcutta, Jharkhand, Bihar, and Chhattisgarh. From all the southern states, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, all these places, we have more than 300 registrations. And one more important point is I have observed there are around 50% UG PG students and 50% teachers also. So as I expected, both teachers and students are equally interested in knowing the various resources. I am sure that our resource persons will satisfy their need, their zeal to learn more things and know the resources. So I welcome you all once again. Thank you very much for joining us. Now I request Dr. Shanmugam to give his inaugural address. Dr. Shanmugam is our long-time associate, and I welcome him to deliver his inaugural address.
So very good morning to all. Our colleague, Dr. Shiv Sarup, Regional Director from RC Nagpur, invited guest speakers, Professor Shivam Kulkarni, Professor Sanjeev Kumar from our colleague from IGNOU, Professor Gomati Sridhar, other invited speakers, all our colleagues from Regional Center, the coordinators from study centers of IGNOU, and our students participating across the country. It's a great pleasure for me to be a part of this inaugural program of national webinar, which is being organized, organized by the RC Nagpur on chemistry education through technology. It's a very important topic of this present scenario, that all educational institutions are actively looking for the effective application of technology for the teaching learning process. Of course, technology, the development of technology and use of technology nowadays we have been seeing everywhere, not only in education, even other activities also. But particularly during this COVID lockdown scenario, the situation has made us to think in a different manner, effectively, how technology can be used with a follow of keeping distance, etc. So we are very fortunate to have the technology advances, particularly in distance education, which we have been practicing the teaching learning process mainly through technology. This present situation has helped, and the innovations which are being used by the conventional institutions also, which is helping us to promote the teaching learning process. Of course, in our country, the technology was earlier, which was not much of been used, because we were very comfortable with the conventional system and the setup what we have been using it. But seeing this current situation, most of the conventional institutions also now started using different mode like e-learning, m-learning technologies, etc., to help the learners in their learning process. Technology available in the e-sources is one thing, which which students can access to that. But converting the classroom lectures on the e-mode, that is another way which is getting much importance nowadays. Indira Gandhi National Open University being the largest open university, having more than 35 lakhs students on enrollment, managing such a huge number of students in the distance mode, the technology has been much helpful. We have all the resources like the our all study material, reading materials are being made e-form resources, and the support, of course, the students support services, which is to be extended to the learners, also been through Gyan Darshan, Gyan Vani, and other e-platform. In this present lockdown for the last 7 months also, the enormous use of technology, you can say, our students are profited and they have successfully completed their term without having much of the difficulties through technology. Our teachers are well familiar of making use of technology. That is the reason that we could reach out them effectively. The teaching other subjects other than the science is maybe less, you can say, problematic when you think of using technology for the science subjects. So this webinar, which is planned for use of technology, particularly for the science courses, that is chemistry, which is a challenging task. We can see the practical aspect which is to be completed without face-to-face. That is a real challenge to the teachers. But in our experience, in this current term also, which we have completed, all these practical components have been managed successfully, and there are the programs like the computer technologies and science programs, which are very prestigious programs of IGNOU, because the offering science program through distance mode, you can imagine how difficulty and maintaining the quality is very difficult. But all our practicals, though we are offering the science programs in the distance mode, the compulsory component of practicals is inbuilt in our system. The learners will have to continuously attend the laboratory sessions for a stipulated time of 14 days or 16 days, etc., depending upon the programs. So keeping the quality and using the technology, which is very important, and we should be very careful in maintaining the quality also. So in these aspects, IGNOU has been doing managing the programs offered through distance mode science programs effectively, and particularly in this pandemic situation, it has given a lot of experiences. You can say it is a learning experience for all of us, how to make use of effective technology intervention in science programs. Even in our programs like the medical, we are offering the health science programs also, like diploma in different healthcare programs, as well as BSc nursing, postgraduate diploma in community cardiology, some other programs. Also, a practical component is inbuilt in that. Managing such programs through technology is really a challenge, and I think today's webinar, which is where the eminent science faculty professors are being invited, will be able to throw their experiences and give some input to improve the present technology interventions in use of science education. So with this, a few words and introduction, I congratulate the regional director for organizing such kind of important webinar, which will be of much required for the programs offered in science, particularly in this pandemic situation. So I wish the one-day webinar, national webinar, will have good inputs and which we may adopt in our in practicing in the teaching learning process. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Shanmugam, for your very useful and valuable inaugural speech and giving idea about the importance of technology. So, Nasafi, thank you for sparing your valuable time in sparing for this inaugural address. I know that you are busy both as Director RSD and also the Registrar Admin in charge. But, thank you so much for your sparing time. And now I request Dr. Subhajit Haldar to give an introduction about Professor Suvarna Kulkarni. I should say that Professor Kulkarni is excellent researcher and also excellent teacher. I am very happy to say that he has been selected as a best teacher award among all the faculty members of IIT Mumbai. And I'm very happy. And welcome, Professor Suvarna Kulkarni. Now I request Dr. Subhajit Haldar to give an introduction about Professor Suvarna Kulkarni.
Yes, sir. Good morning to each one of you. It's a great pleasure for me to introduce our speaker today, who is going to talk to us about online teaching learning of chemistry. Professor Suvarna Kulkarni received his MSc and PhD in organic chemistry from University of Pune. After his PhD, he pursued his postdoctoral research in the laboratory of Professor Sang Cheng Hung on chemical synthesis of glycans via one-pot protection of sugars. In 2005, he moved to University of California, Davis to work with Professor Jacqueline and was engaged in glycosyl iodide-mediated one-pot synthesis of glycolipids. He returned to India in late 2008 and held a faculty position at ISCS Kolkata prior to joining the IIT Bombay in 2009. His current research interests include devising new ways for efficient chemical synthesis of complex glycoconjugates implicated in various infectious diseases as well as cancer. He is presently supervising 14 PhD students, 2 postdocs, and 1 MSc student. His research work has been published in top flight journals such as Nature, Nature Protocols, JACS, Angiochem, Chemical Science, Organic Letter, etc. Dr. Kulkarni was a short-term visiting professor at Taiwan in 2014. Presently, he is working as Vice President of RSCWIS. He is admitted as Fellow of the Royal Society of Chemistry. He is a recipient of CRSI Bronze Medal for the year 2017 and Dr. H.C. Srivastava Memorial Lecture Award in the year 2016. He is the member of editorial board of Carbohydrate Research. He was selected by the students for the Best Teacher Award at IIT Bombay in 2017, and very recently for the prestigious Professor A.S.P. Sukhatme Award for Excellence in Teaching in 2020. On behalf of IGNOU Regional Center, Nagpur, I welcome Professor Kulkarni for this webinar. Thank you.
Professor Kulkarni, please start your presentation. Professor Suvarna Kulkarni will talk on online teaching learning, a paradigm shift in education, and we'll be listening to Professor Kulkarni. Please.
Thank you, Professor Shivaswarup. First of all, let me thank you wholeheartedly for including me in this very important webinar of IGNOU. It's a really very important initiative from IGNOU, and there are many webinars that we come across, but there are hardly any webinars which talk about how to teach and what are the nuances of online teaching. And this is, in a way, you have created a stage for sharing this information. So it's more like a discussion forum where few people can sit across the table and have an informal discussion. I'm really glad to participate in this. So first of all, thank you for organizing this. and also for having me here. Also, I would like to thank Shubhojit Haldar for a very kind introduction. And also thanks to Professor Shanmugam for setting up a stage and in very few words giving us an idea about what IGNOU has, what IGNOU stands for, what IGNOU does, and what is required from this webinar. So I really thank him for giving us a direction and setting up a stage for this webinar. Okay, so in next 20-25 minutes or 30 minutes, what I'm going to do is, I have made a PowerPoint presentation, but essentially I want to just have an informal chat with you. And the presentation is nothing but some points that I have written on it so that I don't forget, but nothing special about the presentation. So this is just for me to guide me through the presentation. So let me share my screen, and please feel free to interrupt me at any point of time and start a discussion. Or I leave it to Professor Shivaswarup to decide how you want to have it. You want to have a question answers at the end or in the beginning?
I suggest you
You
first
please-
complete.
Please continue your presentation. If there are questions, we will
Fine. Fine.
put.
Also, Professor Shivaswarup, I must also thank you for one more thing, that this was very nice on your part to ask the participants beforehand about what they want to learn, what are their concerns and questions. And thank you for sharing those with me so that it was very helpful for me. I have also pasted those questions here for everyone.
So nice, sir. Thank you.
So, online teaching, learning, a paradigm shift, that's a topic I thought I should talk about, because that's what I thought. I'm honestly, although I'm at the Technology Institute, I'm not very comfortable with using technology. I mean, once you start using it, you get to use it. You need to use it. But I'm not the first one to jump and explore the new technology. I'm a slow one. So when it all started, and as the Professor Shanmugam rightly mentioned, that this pandemic has opened up a doorway for new technologies for us to explore. And already these platforms are in place within no time. So if you see that the teaching industry is the only industry that is not affected so much. That's thanks to all those teachers. I mean, imagine all of us, we are not actors or actresses trained to talk in front of cameras. But now look at us, we are all comfortable. We are conducting online classes, and all the students also, they're also comfortable with this. So thanks to all of the participants who participated and played their role over past 6-7 months to create what we have today. Okay, so this was a paradigm shift for all of us in education, and how do we help each other? And I'm sure people at IGNOU, actually we should learn from them, because they are the masters of online training. So whatever I'm going to talk today, probably it is they already know this. My effort is that maybe 1 or 2 points which they would have not known, if I would be able to put across, that will be a success for me. But I'm aware that most of the people who are listening to this seminar, they already know 90 or 95% of the stuff that I'm going to talk today. Okay, so it's a, oh sorry, it is frozen, so I may have to stop sharing and start again, I guess. Share screen. Sorry about this. Yeah, I guess we're okay. Yeah. So this was once upon a time. This used to be my first slide of my talk, of my lectures in IIT. In my first lecture, I would display this slide and say, first rule, don't use cell phones. Keep your cell phone at home. If you bring the cell phone here, switch it off. Second, don't be late. I will close the door from inside. If you're late, you'll have to go back. Third, don't sleep in my class. And if you sleep, don't snore. Now, whenever I look at this slide, I laugh, because the pandemic has changed everything. Now we ask our student, turn on your cell phones, right? Or even just to talk to me, you will have to first begin with your phone. So this is yes now, you should have a phone. Late entries, we don't really care, because earlier, if you enter late, you will be disturbing the classroom. But now it is not the case. You can enter anytime, leave anytime. So this is gone. Sleep, you can sleep, no problem. Nobody would know. If you naturally fall asleep, we can only request, try to attend, try to be attentive. But if you sleep, it's okay. So this is a paradigm shift for me, I think, in teaching. So when we enter the classroom, um,
ते मोबाईल फोन हे एक एक धुतो ना तिकडे मी आता इकडे कामात आहे थोडंसं पाण्यात तरी टाकून ठेव बटाटे फक्त बटाटे वांगे
this was yeah, so this used to be, this is normal for me. This used to be the conference in January where you would see that one person would occasionally doze off due to a number of lectures, right? But now things are improving, things are getting better. You can see we can have a webinar and we can sleep peacefully, or we can even do cooking. We can do multitasking. We do 10 different things at a time. So this is a cartoon picture showing you how things have changed. And especially during the lockdown period, everybody was at home, and this was a Bermuda Triangle where we used to just shuffle between sleep, food, and our computer or cell phone. Well, thankfully, things have changed, things are improving, and we are progressing. The COVID cases are coming down, and we slowly have started going to the classes, and still, IIT Bombay still remains the same. This is our Infinity Corridor. As you can see, this was a picture taken somewhere in the month of August, but even now, things have, there are some students from research only have been allowed for the PhD students, but most of our MSc, BSc, BTech undergrads, all of them, they are requested to stay at home, and we are doing online teaching. So online teaching, this is again one more cartoon that I really like. Somebody sent it to me. That this person goes to a doctor, and the doctor is saying that I have your MRI result of your brain. Half of your brain is clogged with passwords, and the other half is clogged with username. So this cartoon is indicating some of the drawbacks of online stuff. When we do so many things online, we have to remember so many things. So considering all these points, we have to design our way forward for online teaching and learning. And I would say that my take on online teaching learning is that it's a compromise. At the best, I would say is a compromise. It can never be as good as classroom teaching. Having said that, how do we go ahead? Right? We cannot stop. We cannot say that, no, this is not good, so let's discontinue. We have no option. We have to continue. But then we have to explore the ways of avenues where online teaching offers us certain advantages over the classroom teaching. And can we bring that in? So my first question when we started online teaching was, how do you recreate the classroom experience virtually? You must have come across IIT Bombay and IIT Madras videos of virtual convocation, where a student suddenly appears and receives his medal and disappears. Right? So I was thinking how we can recreate the classroom experience virtually. So then what are the important components of a classroom teaching? One, we have a blackboard or a whiteboard and chalks and markers, and we have PowerPoint presentation or PPT presentation. Most importantly, we have our students in front of us for live interactions. Second and most important, that after every class, I remember I teach a class of 350 students. In one class, one lecture, we have 350 students. And the class goes for 60 minutes or 90 minutes. And then we have, when I come out of the class, I have about some students who don't have the next class. They come and encircle you. There are about 30, 40 students. And we end up spending about 1 more hour outside the classroom. So these after classroom discussions are very important, I thought. And then how do you match the most important point, that is peer learning? See, all of us, our students, not only learn from us, I would say that they learn very little from us. They learn most from their peers, from their seniors, from the intelligent students in the class. And most of the learning happens outside the classroom when they interact with their peers. Besides learning, it's a lot of fun to just interact in your classroom with other fellow friends and make bonds with them. So this was my concern, that how we are going to work on these 3 points. So next 2 slides, what I have done is I've just random thoughts that came to my mind, focused on these 3 points. So first I thought what students can do, what we can do as students. So this slide is for students. So first of all, online teaching is something that we cannot avoid, at least for a few months, not forever, but at least for a few months. So first of all, we have to be open to it and use it to our advantage. So first of all, we have to be open to this idea. And second, we have to look at the brighter, sunny side of it, that, hey, look, we are, right. And because we are able to stay with our family, that's good for us, but it's even better for our parents. For our mother, it's a bonus, because otherwise we would be in our hostel or in the college. So that's the bright side of it. And what you need is, you just need a good Wi-Fi. You may need a dongle, and you need a good phone or a computer or a laptop. If you have this, you are all set. And believe me, the students are 10 times better than the teachers when it comes to use of technology. The younger generation, the younger it is, you look at the school kids. My daughter is in 9th standard. She is 10 times better than me. If I have some difficulty, I will ask her, how do you do it? And she will just look at the gadget and solve it. That's a natural ability that the new generation has. So don't be shy. But here we will have to work as a student. When you go to online classroom, you are very good with technology, but then you are shy. So first of all, you have to come over that fear. You don't be shy. Communicate your difficulties. Your teachers are, they understand. If you have genuine difficulties with internet connectivity or whatever point, they would understand. So you have to remain active, participate, and don't forget, if it is allowed, please ask questions during online classes. Then the resources, and my other counterparts who are going to talk next, Professor Sanjeev Kumar and Professor Gomati Sridhar, they will be focusing more on this aspect for students, that what kind of e-resources you have. You can use. So YouTube have fantastic videos, but then there are some wrong videos also. So you need to know which are good, which are not so good videos. And ebooks are great. And then there are other online resources. I will mention a couple for animation, but remaining my other counterparts will talk about it. So most important thing, teachers, sometimes we tend to forget that students have 10 different classes, not just our course, but they have other courses. And when a student takes 5 or 6 classes per day on computer, he's not going to be as focused as a normal classroom, and that may be detrimental for the eyes. So I should say that to students, take good care of your eyes. And then you normally turn off the video, right? So once in a while, you should close your eyes. If the screen is not changing, get in the habit of not staring at the screen. Just get into the habit of protecting your eyes. Second, do physical exercise, because you'll be sitting in front of computer for 5-6 hours a day. That's not good for your body. So you have to get into running. Don't put on weight. And most important, very, very important, don't stress. Nothing is more important than your life. And sometimes we think that because of the pandemic, we are falling behind. What will happen to my academics? How my grading will be done? How I will get my next graduation school? How I'll get job? You are not alone. The whole world is going through this. So this will be factored in. It's not, you are not going to fall behind in this race. So first of all, don't get stressed. Just see how you can use this platform to your advantage. Then for teachers, so what we can do as teachers, right? And as teachers, so I don't want to tell you what we can do as teachers. I will just tell you what I have done for my course, and just see if that is useful for your course. You can try and take some of the points. All of the points may not be good. Maybe 1 or 2 points you may like, you can inculcate. So what I did, I thought that how do I match this interaction of students with students and students with me and students with the TAs, especially when you have a group of 350 kids, right? First course that I taught after the pandemic had 120 students, and the second course has 10 students, and the third one I'm going to begin now will have 350 students. So what I found is that right away opening a WhatsApp group of all the students in the class helps a great deal. You won't believe me. Once you do it, you will know. Because the students, they are very familiar with this technology, and you will be basically going in by their way. They will check WhatsApp very frequently. And so anything that you have a change in class timing or any information that you're going to send will reach very rapidly. One, it is very useful for posting small videos, and also very useful. I found it very useful for clearing doubts, because after the class the students will post their questions on the WhatsApp. So I gave my phone number to all my students, so they can call me anytime. Anytime means anytime, midnight they can call me, no problem. And after 6 o'clock, because they will be busy till 6 o'clock attending all the other lectures, and then they will have time only late night for study. So they can send me a message, can I talk to you or can I call you? And if I'm awake, they can call me, or they can just send me a WhatsApp message. And then you can chat over WhatsApp. You can also share some photos of a page from a book. So WhatsApp is a great platform I found, and if you haven't used it, I encourage you to use it. It's very nice. So this was a game changer for me, the WhatsApp group. Then the students have a choice of posting the question to the group. Once the question is posted to the group, the TAs will interact, other students will interact, and a healthy discussion will start on WhatsApp. And that discussion brings out the best. So I found it very, very useful. Second, for your online delivery, you have to decide the platform fast. And don't switch between the platforms. That's my personal suggestion to you, because students find it difficult to adjust. And try to do everything at the same place. So what do I mean by platform? I'm saying you choose quickly before you start whether you're going to go by MS Teams or G Suite. If your classroom size is less than 300 or 350, then you can easily use MS Team or G Suite. If your classroom size is more than 300, then this is not so good, because they have limitation. Then you have to go for Zoom or WebEx or Moodle. So if you use Zoom or WebEx, then you don't have place to keep your files. You don't have a separate place built inside for folders. And Zoom, one of the disadvantage, as you can see from now, that Professor Shivaswarup is the owner of this today's discussion, but he won't have control over other participants. He will have to depend on the discipline of all the participants, that they keep their interface muted. And if they start, let's say if you have 350 students and some of them start their audio, you won't have any control over that. So those are some of the disadvantages of Zoom and WebEx. I like MS Teams a lot, and G Suite is for Google. It's also equally, I don't say equally, it's also okay. MS Teams is the best for me. And in MS Teams, you can do lots and lots of things. If you haven't done that, I can give you a separate talk later on if you want how to use MS Teams, or I can guide you to some people who will educate you on MS Teams. But I'm sure Gomati, who is going to talk last today, they have SIS college, they have a license for MS Teams, and they use MS Teams for all their lectures. Some colleges prefer G Suite or like Google Meet. And for extremely large classes like us, where we have a batch size of 1400, 350 is our class size, yeah. So for us, we struggle with these platforms sometimes. So we have to do Zoom or WebEx. Then what I did is I thought that I should send the slides in advance. So I will send all my slides few months in advance, or at least few weeks in advance, so that students know in advance what I'm going to talk. Now, some people don't like it because they think that their surprise element is gone. But if you think about the students, the weekend before your talk, they can look at the slides. Then I share all the ebooks, all the slides before starting the course. And then what I do is that I have, let's say I had a 90-minute class. I decided to take 45 minutes live. So you have an option. You can also do a video recording and post it and just take the question answers. But I thought that I would like to do live. And so I decided to go 45 minutes to 1 hour live class. That includes impromptu question. So I allowed questions during the class. And I was so surprised to see that students were so disciplined. There was no chaos. They asked questions one after other. The class size was 120. And so that was all recorded in the live session. And as soon as your class is over, you post it online immediately. So the students have your slides, the students have access to your videos, and they have the access to the WhatsApp group. Then you encourage students to ask live questions, which I did, and make it interactive. If you want to do this in any of these platforms, MS Teams or G Suite, the moment you share your slides for live screening, you won't see any other things. You won't see students, you won't see participants. So how you are going to entertain their questions? So for this, you will need two systems. So you need two computers. So the one that you are using for slide presentation, and the parallel, you need either your phone or you need another laptop or a tablet to see the activity in the group. Who is raising the hand, who is asking question, so that you also know their name, and then you can make it personalized. You can talk to them through that. But if you don't have the second system, it becomes difficult. Please remember that our brain can focus at the most for 45 minutes. Beyond 45 minutes, actually 30 minutes is good enough for our brain. Our brain continuously likes to shift objects. So our brain would not like to just keep looking or keep listening to one person for more than 45 minutes. And I'm talking about older generation like us. The younger generation has even lesser time of focusing. So you have to also build in that fluctuation in your. So you will have to have surprise elements. You need to tell stories. You can use Poly. In MS Teams, you have an application called as Poly that helps you to make polls. So you ask a question and then you conduct a poll, like Amitabh Bachchan conducts in Kaun Banega Crorepati. You can conduct that. That keeps your class engaged. Then you give in-class problems, and you can give them a few minutes to think and revert. What was most interesting, what I found, is that, of course, you have to give some time. So let's say you have 90 minutes class. I have 45 minutes in delivery plus interaction. Then I stop. And then I say, okay, now questions, more questions after the class. So that is like 10-15 minutes questions. Then I'm left with 25 minutes still. What I do in that, I conduct 3 marks multiple choice quiz after every class. These 3 questions I ask essentially from the 45 minutes that I have talked about. So if a student attends those 45 minutes, he would be able to get 3 out of 3 for sure in these 3 marks MCQ quiz. They are understanding based questions, not memory based questions for sure. So each time that forces me also, before I go to class, to think about what I'm going to talk about, what are the 3 most important points I'm going to make in the class, and what kind of questions I'm going to ask on this. And students loved it. So let's say at the end of 20 lectures, right, you have 60 marks MCQ quiz, which you can then downgrade to 20 marks and use it for your continuous evaluation process, and students can get benefit of that. Because you're choosing best 1 or 2 out of 3, they have the option of not attending some classes, and they have the option of missing some quizzes. They have the option of not doing well in some quizzes. So all that worked well, and I got very, very positive feedback from the students community for this. And this became very popular now in IIT. After we tried, many people, many classes have this, and everyone is seems to like it. This is my principle. I don't give any home assignment. As a student, I hated this. Why would I do this to my students? I mean, some people find it very effective. I don't like it because students already have a lot of stress. Students already are going to sit in front of computer for 5-6 hours. So this is a principle that I follow. I don't give home assignments. Once in a while, I get a students who come around and says, "Can you give home assignment?" I just say no, no home assignment. You just do study on your own. One more thing I wanted to point out. I use channels. So MS Teams, Microsoft Teams has this option of making channels. So let's say you have a class of 120 students. I make 12 channels in that of containing 10 students each. And if you have a smaller group of students, you can then make a group of 3-4 students each. If you have 9 students in a channel, you can see all of them on screen, all of them. So that channel you can use for conducting exam so that their camera is on, you see them, they are writing the paper for large classroom. And most importantly, apart from the exam, this is most important, that this channel helped me to make this, the last point that I mentioned, the peer learning. So what I will do, I will make a group of 4 students and then I will give them a difficult problem. Each channel, I'll give a different problem and then I'll say, okay, or the same problem. And I'll say, okay, I'll come back after 15 minutes. You chat with each other, you discuss with each other and solve this problem. That's what I used to do in the live classes. And this MS Team allows you to do it. So it is actually like creating 10 different classrooms where 4 or up to 10 students are there in each room, small room, and then they discuss with each other. And then you can change the composition of this team. You can move few students from here to there and there to here. And that way the students get to know each other. You are providing them opportunity to talk to each other. So it builds up the spirit of learning together and peer learning. And if you have good TAs with you, that helps. So you can put one TA each in one room and then they can guide the class through. And you can keep hopping from one class to the other class. This is a fun experience. I thought I should share with you. You can try it out if you haven't done it already. Second option is that, which I haven't done it, but many of you would like to do, is a flipped classroom, where what you do is that for one lecture, you make videos of 10 minutes each, 3 videos or 4 videos, small 10 minutes videos you make. You send the videos right away to students. So the student, they see that video before coming to class, and in class, you just have live interaction. Now, in the model that I follow, I give live class, record the video live, and send it to the students. And then there is one free class every week where they just come. It's like an office hour. So where I sit in front of my computer for an hour and they come and ask me whatever questions they have. In the second mode, you have a flipped classroom where you are sending all the videos upfront and the students can see the video. Now, this gives you option of editing the videos. I normally don't like to do that, so I just send my live videos. But if you want to edit your videos, this is a better option. Also, this gives students more time. And how do you create videos? So you can use just your phone to make a video. Or if you don't know, your Microsoft PPT, the PowerPoint, also allows you to record your lecture. So if you go to the PPT on the top panel, it says record, and you can record the lecture, and it also saves the audio file with each slide. So if you share that, that's the most easiest way of doing the video. Or you can use Zoom, you can use WebEx, you can create a dummy meeting, then you record that meeting and share that meeting. So that's one point. Most importantly, I think what is important in the online as against offline, I thought, is that we should not try to cover the entire syllabus. That's what I told myself. I said that if you uncover some part of the syllabus, it's good enough. This is a very interesting pandemic situation. One in our lifetime. We don't need to really cover the entire syllabus. What is important is that we need to make sure that the students are on board with us every single moment. So we should not just run fast and have I'll ask them to drag with us. And this helps you because once the moment you think that I don't need to cover everything, that puts a lot of burden. I see in many colleges, universities, and schools, they have this pressure of completing the syllabus. I think you need to convince your administrations to rethink about this. Just tell, I will go with my pace and my student's pace. And the slowest learner will decide the pace of how much I cover. If my slowest student understands only 20% of the syllabus, I will cover 20% of the syllabus. I think learning is more important than covering the syllabus. And that's what I'm thankful to IIT Bombay because we have this freedom inbuilt in our system. Okay, now for the exams are always formidable. And so I tell myself that I have to be considerate and aware of the internet problems. I am on the campus, so I have the best possible internet, but that doesn't mean that my other student who is staying in Jammu Kashmir will have this luxury or Assam will have this luxury. So I allow late submission. And we all worry about too much about copying. I don't worry about it. I tell my students, it is your life. If you want to copy, copy. Your choice. If you want to become a thief, I don't want to take any moral stand on that. What I do is that almost like an open book question paper, I set my question paper in such a way that even if you have access towards all the books and all the data that is there on the internet, still you won't be able to copy. So I put a lot of pressure on myself to create that kind of questions rather than being a policeman and looking at who is copying and who is not copying. So this is one important point that I want to share. And as I said, that MS Team allows you to make a group of 9 people at a time. So you can ask all of them to keep their cameras on, but don't overstretch this. I mean, this is fine. Now that brings me to the last section of my talk. I have talked for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. These are the questions asked from the participants. So I will just read how to relate the chemistry with technology, the different ways in which chemistry and technology can help each other. These are the first 2 questions. And I thought that what they are asking is how to relate chemistry education with technology. And I think that's what I have talked for the last few minutes, and my other colleagues will talk during the lectures. Then another question was that please ensure some ideas for techno-pedagogy skills and e-content. And then these are the other questions. How to make animated videos in chemistry? Simple answer is don't try. There are various animated videos online. Just take those because it takes real time. There are softwares you can try it. It takes a lot of time and the quality is not as good as what you expect. Then the other question is that I wish to know the open source tools for chemistry education. Yes, I will tell you a few, but then you have to attend the next 2 lectures for knowing more about these open source tools. Then what kind of softwares, new computer softwares are used for teaching? I will talk about that in a bit. How do you type reactions easily while preparing Word file? Yeah, I will tell you, we use ChemDraw. And tips and tricks for effective online teaching of chemistry. I think I covered some of these aspects already. Now going ahead, next 5 or 10 minutes, how to make 3D structures of any compound. How to use color in different types of bonding in reaction mechanism. All beautiful questions. And what is the easy software for drawing organic structure? So for most of these questions, I would say that you get your hands on a software called as ChemDraw or ChemDraw Ultra. And there's another software that comes with it, which is inbuilt. It's called as ChemDraw 3D. ChemDraw allows you to draw figures. And I don't have enough time to show it, although I can show you easily by sharing my screen. But if you have the software, you can easily draw all the reactions online, even during the class. So that's one of the ways of conducting a class, that you just start in ChemDraw, share your screen, and then just paste benzene, paste other reaction. It allows you to do drawing in 2 dimensions. This one, ChemDraw 3D, if you open the same file in ChemDraw 3D, it will give you the 3D picture. And it will also allow you to rotate that picture in 3 dimensions. So this is an important software. This particular website, I wanted to bring it to your attention. Fantastic website. chemtube3d.com. For general chemistry, you would love this website and you can spend hours and hours and hours on this. All of the concepts that you have in chemistry, they have made animations, and let's say Diels-Alder reaction, you will have an animation there. You will have a diene and a dienophile coming in space, meeting each other, angle, then how they approach each other, what are the orbitals involved. You want to look at the 3D orbitals in space, they will show you. So this is a very, very beautiful resource and free one. These are all free. You can just type even now and you can see this is very beautiful and site. How to teach solve numerals in online lecture, right? So this is one important question and I have 4 solutions to that. One is you can use a tablet. iPad is, it comes from a lower version to higher version, and you can get a very cheap iPad or you can get as expensive as up to 2 lakh rupees. Some people, although like more rather than iPad, because if you already have a laptop, then you don't need an iPad, it's very expensive. What is more convenient is called as a Wacom tablet. If you do a quick search in Amazon for Wacom tablet, and if you can see my video, I don't know if you're able to see, this is how a Wacom tablet looks like. And it comes with a pen, right? And it comes with a pen which allows you to write in real time. So if you want to solve equations or numericals, you can use a tablet, and that pen is auto charged. So the pen gets charged when it touches the screen. It has multiple variants and the price starts from somewhere from 4,000 up to 30,000. And there are, the main variation is that either you are able to see directly on the screen as well as on your computer, which are the high-end models. The price is about 30,000, or the low-end model where when you write, you don't see on the tablet, but you directly see it on the screen. They are also equally fine. And the price is about 4,000, 5,000, it starts from that. So you can look at Amazon and they have all the varieties of Wacom tablet. And I recommend that, yeah. Second, you can use a whiteboard and a pen with a camera. Whatever you want to solve numericals, right? You just do a recording. Or like how I'm sharing now, you can focus it on the whiteboard. You can focus your camera on the whiteboard and write. Or you can use a pen and normal paper. That's what I do. Sometimes I want to show a structure to class. I just draw a structure by hand and just show it like this on the camera. So you can use a whiteboard, pen with a camera, you can, and what you should do if you're doing this, if you're asking them to look at their camera, you ask them to pin you. So they should right click on your image or on your video, and then they should pin that. Once you do pin, that will open a full screen, and then you can show, okay, this is my tablet. And this tablet, one thing is that whatever you write on this, it will appear and you will be able to share that. And one more thing is that you can use your mobile phone, make a video and post it. So these are a variety of options wherever you want, or you can use an animation in the PowerPoint. So you start like the one I'm doing, like this one. You just write all the equation one by one, and then you go on clicking as if you're writing. So these are some of the options that comes to my mind right away. Okay, this is one more question. What kind of digital gadgets you use in chemistry technology? And I just showed you a Wacom tablet. You can use iPad. And this is a very nice question. I thought I should share this website. They're saying that the questioner is asking, he or she, that there are topics like group theory. Really, it requires high level of 3D imagination. Just visit this website, you would love it. Just type Otterben in Google, Otterben or this site. And I will be sharing these slides with all of you so that Professor Shivaswarup can send it to you. So symmetry@otterben.edu. Beautiful site created by this university. Really fantastic. So if you want to see shape of orbitals, if you want to say, let's say benzene, what kind of symmetry elements benzene has, it will allow you to rotate and it will allow you to perform all the symmetry operations. Let's say I want to know D2H and I just see what are the symmetry elements. I click that and it will show me. It will show me SN, it will show me CN, all the axis of symmetry, and it will actually show me the rotation in 3 dimensions. So this is a fantastic website. Please visit. Last but not least, very, very important website. If you are interested in only the shapes and symmetry of orbitals, this is a group of Winter Group. And this is a site called as Orbitron. So Otterbane, Orbitron, these are the best sites for orbitals. Again, interactive site. It will allow you to play with the electron density. It will show you the electron density map. It will show you the shape of orbitals. It will show you atomic orbitals. It will show you molecular orbitals. Beautiful website. Please see it. And as I mentioned just in the previous slide, for general chemistry animations. So if you just take a photograph of my slide here at this moment, these websites you must see after the class sometime. You would enjoy that. Otterbane, Winter, and this CameTube3D.com. This will solve most of the questions that you have asked me for this. Then there were like 8 to 10 questions about how do we conduct practicals. All of you are concerned with this. I know. My simple answer to this is don't. Don't conduct practicals online, if there's a choice. So what we have done at IIT is we have moved some theory courses from next semester to this semester, and we have moved all the practical courses to next semester. Because practical itself means that you do something with your hands. If I eat a mango online and ask you to imagine the taste of that mango, I think it's ridiculously absurd for me. So what we have thought at IIT is that we can stretch it up to 4th year. And the pandemic is not going to stay for 3 years. So if we have to stick to online teaching, we will keep postponing all the practicals till the last year. Last year, we'll just conduct practicals. I think that's the best model. Because all of these questions, it's just too much to think about. You no matter how you do, unless you handle burette, pipette, flasks, you are not going to get the hang of it. So I would say don't. Last but not the least, this was the last question asked by one participant. How effective should be the preparation? And I would say that for online teaching, more than offline, this is the most important factor. Before I go to class every time, I ask myself, what are the 3 points that I'm going to talk about today? And not more than 3. I just think about 3 points. What are the 3 points that I want to put across? And what are those 3 questions? So each point I will talk for 10 minutes and wind up my talk in 30 minutes and thinking that 15 minutes will be interaction inbuilt. And sometimes you keep talking a little bit more, but never shoot more than 45 minutes. And you ask 3 questions based on that. So I think that's it from my side. And once again, I would like to thank Professor Shivaswarup and IGNOU for giving me this wonderful opportunity to share my experiences and thought with the people at the receiving end or the people who are delivering it. And I just tried my best to share my experience, and I hope that some of the points will be useful for some of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Professor Suvarna Kulkarni. It's an excellent and wonderful talk you have given, and you have covered both students and teachers. As I said, we have both equally participating, and I'm very happy that you have given advice for the teachers also, and also you have covered all the questions asked by the participants, which they would like to ask. So, and someone is asking whether ChemDra is free or not, because as you said, I have opened 2 channels. I am watching YouTube also, because majority are watching through YouTube. One student has asked.
No, ChemDra is unfortunately not free.
No, ChemDraw is not a free webinar.
When you go for ChemSketch, ChemSketch is as good, fairly good. You can do 2D, 3D, both things over there.
ChemSketch is free.
It's free. ACD Labs ka free hai.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not aware of ChemSketch. I just look at
It's wonderful. It's
we
wonderful.
have a group package, so we have like 1,000 licenses. So everyone has ChemSketch.
Okay.
In kind of some kind of add-ons to that, you can even get the nomenclature. You draw a compound, you get the nomenclature of the compound. That's possible.
That, okay, yeah, that you get in ChemDraw as well, but something free will be useful.
Yeah, that is free.
Okay.
It's good.
We can work out even the NMR part of it. Spectra also can be done.
Okay.
It's nice. So nice, Professor Suvan Kulkarni. And we have a few participants online. Whether anyone has a question.
Okay.
Only one question we will allow so that we will move on.
Fine. I'll be happy to answer to best of my knowledge.
I think most of the questions we got through beforehand itself, because many people are doubtful about using the practicals and other things also, and you have given excellent live examples of how to use, take a class, how to attend also. The limitations also you have given. So nice that we are very happy. Thank you very much, Professor Suvan Kulkarni. This video is available recorded on the YouTube and Facebook also.
Okay,
so
great.
all this will be a permanent resource for those who are interested. They can see and note down the YouTube links and website links we have given, especially for the symmetry elements and other things. Because when we studied, symmetry was more visualization of the compounds and structures and all these things. Group theory, especially, you might have seen the question is about group theory only.
Yeah. But this was a revelation to me. It is so fascinating. I mean, you can try that if you haven't seen it.
Very true. And thank you very much for giving a permanent resource for all the students, teachers, and students who are enthusiastic to use the technology into their classroom and teaching learning process of chemistry. So nice of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I look forward to attending other lectures.
Definitely. So nice. Please stay on with us. Now we go for the next lecture by Professor Sanjeev Kumar. Before that, I request Dr. Mrs. Nakvi Siddiqui, our coordinator of Institute of Science, IGNOU Study Center, to give a brief introduction of Professor Sanjeev Kumar. Professor Siddiqui. Professor Siddiqui.
Hello. Good morning, sir.
Please, good morning.
Good afternoon. Very good afternoon to everyone who have joined and registered today for this national webinar on chemistry education and chemistry education through technology. I'm Dr. Nakija Siddiqui, Associate Professor of Chemistry at Institute of Science, Nagpur, and I've been working as a coordinator of IGNOU at this study center 2017. Dr. Shiv Sarup sir has given me the responsibility to introduce Professor Sanjeev. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce him. Professor Sanjeev Kumar, a physical chemist by training, obtained his PhD from the University of Delhi in the area of biophysical chemistry. In addition to PhD in chemistry, he holds a master's degree in distance education from IGNOU. He has taught chemistry at undergraduate level in University of Delhi for about 2 decades before joining IGNOU in 2008. At IGNOU, he has been engaged in design, development, and maintenance of distance teaching learning materials. He is an ardent advocate of the use of information and communication technology in the transaction of teaching learning, more so for teaching at a distance. He has coordinated and contributed significantly towards the development of e-content for undergraduate chemistry courses as per the UGC's model curriculum under the National Mission on Education through ICT of MHRD. He was one of the first to offer a MOOC course titled Atomic Structure and Chemical Bonding on SWAYAM, an indigenous IT platform. He has also been associated extensively with in-service training of teachers as PGT level, development of textual material and teaching aids for secondary and senior secondary level learners. His areas of interest are biophysical chemistry, material science, quantum chemistry, and molecular spectroscopy. So after this short and influential introduction, I request Professor Sanjeev Kumar, resource person of today's webinar, to start his lecture on the topic e-resources for self-learning in chemistry. Thank you, sir. So I request sir to please start his lecture.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am. And thank you, Professor Sivaswarup, also for making me come on this platform and talk to you and my learners here, because my interest is more on our learners, because we're really finding it very difficult to reach out to our learners. So this opportunity is really very, very great for me, so that I'm able to talk to some of my learners and then they can promote this things over there. And after having heard a wonderful lecture from Professor Kulkarni, definitely a lot of things have been done. So what to do and how to do from students and the teachers end, and also a lot of good websites he has shared. That's really wonderful. And also he has taken care of the learners' questions over there. That also is a good job done by him. And as regards me, I'm basically going to talk about the operational part of it. How do I actually make use of the resources over there? What are resources and how do I make use of it? Let me first share my screen. Give me a moment, please. Okay, so that's where we are. So the title of the presentation is e-resources for self-learning in chemistry. I have very ill reputation of making very long presentations that run into hours and hours altogether. So for the first time today, I have really kind of resisted the temptation to make a long presentation. For the first time, I'm coming with a very, very short presentation. And I'll just briefly introduce what I want to talk about. Then I'll come down to sharing of how to make use of what are the resources available there, how do I reach them, and how do I make use of it. So that's what I'm going to do today. Now, to talk about e-resources for self-learning. Basically, the outline of the presentation happens like this. I talk about what are e-resources very, very briefly, and then we'll move on to why do we need e-resources. And then we'll come down to the crux of it, that is the e-resources in chemistry. And herein, I have put 3 components over there. The first one happens to be what resources we have at IGNOU. That's the most pertinent one for our learners. And also, what are national resources created over there. And then we come down to the global e-resources. I'll briefly touch upon that, because when you talk about something which is online, there's nothing national or global. This only pertains to where they have been created. National, when I'm referring to, something is done by, say, MHRD and the contributors from different places. And global means outside of our country. That's all. Otherwise, all resources are available to anybody across the globe. Okay. Now, as regards what are e-resources, just for sake of it, just to set the tone, basically, e-resources are some resources which are in digital format. Certain qualifiers are there, which I want to highlight over there. They are the resources in digital format. They are usually remotely located, because a resource is at IGNOU website, and anybody in the country can look at it, anybody in the globe can look at it. So that's the meaning of remote location over there. And these are accessible electronically. So you have to have some electronic means of accessing them. And then, of course, that has to come through some kind of a network. Normally, we do through internet. It could be even intranet. In certain institutions, we have intranet, and some places we talk about in terms of internet over there. And then to top it all, we need some kind of a e-reading device. We need a device to do that, to access some kind of a e-resource over there. The device could be a laptop, maybe a tablet over there, on an iPad, or a Kindle, or whatever, or maybe even a mobile phone for that matter. So that is the way we look at e-resource. So e-resource is a very, very broad term. And since I'm talking about a broad term, basically, if you look at different types of e-resources we have, you can have an enormous list of it. So e-books are there, e-journals, audio, video resources. That's the most pertinent one nowadays. Then podcasts over there, e-documents. Then we have got e-tutorials, animations, simulations, demonstrations, virtual labs, CD, DVD, even that also is electronic medium over there. Microfilms nowadays, e-magazines, e-newspapers, e-databases, e-theses, and even e-maps. All these are e-resources. So it is a very, very broad term. And practically it caters to every domain of our learning. teaching, learning for that matter. No matter which domain we're talking about, we have some resources to bank on. That's one bit. Now I come to my second question. That is, why do we need e-resources? Just for sake of it, I was wondering, how do I talk about the necessity of e-resources in today's scenario over there? And to me, I went back in time when I was a student. Say I started my college education, late 70s, early 80s. So that point of time when we used to learn, I remember very well that we used to have books. We sit in the lawn over there in a small group of 3 or 4 people over there. We study there, interact, discuss about things and all. That was one way of learning. Second was going into library and all. Then I was thinking, let me just try to recall. I don't have pictures of that. So I thought of using the internet and looking for some kind of pictures. So with a lot of difficulty, I could locate this picture, which shows, basically our search was that some students studying in a lawn. That kind of a search I made. So I found that there are some students sitting there with some books. They are not studying as though. That doesn't matter. So basically, that's one scenario I had in mind. And then if you go further, then most of our times we used to spend in the libraries. Libraries used to be packed. Our college library, I remember very well, even at the university level also, libraries used to be packed with the students. We sometimes had to even wait outside for someone to vacate the seat and we can go into the library. So that was the scenario then. But nowadays, I was just looking for pictures of people studying in the library. I found some pictures over there. I'm sharing 1 or 2 of them. So there are some people, and the number is, you can see a very, very sparse number there. Yet another one. Here again, people are studying in the library. And then I find that there's some device over there. I don't know whether it's a calculator or a phone. I really do not know. I can't make out from this picture because the picture quality is not very, very good. So that is where we are. Then I thought of looking for pictures wherein how people learn nowadays. So this is when the Akash tablet was launched about 2009 and all. That is the launch of that one. And then pictures using some kind of a small laptop working on this, or some kind of integration of 2 things there. There is a laptop over there. There are books, certain students studying over there. Going further, you have this situation, or this, you're using a mobile to learn, or this scenario, what was shared by Professor Kulkarni also, that means everybody with a laptop in the class. That is the extreme case. Though in our case also, we had that kind of experiences, because that actually puts a lot of pressure on the teacher as well. Because when Professor Kulkarni was talking, I was really recalling when we used to teach our master's level at IGNOU. I remember I'm teaching something on the board and a student opens a mobile phone and tells me, sir, yahan to ye likha hai. So I had to be prepared for that kind of a learner. So that is actually what is there now. So from this, if you go further, so that is the kind of picture I came across, which tells you that the learner and learning has changed. In today's scenario, the way learner thinks, learns, and the teaching is done, and even the learner's profile, also everything has changed. So I shared with you how I used to learn. And now I recall my younger daughter who finished her master's about 2-3 years back. I never saw her reading from a book. She had a laptop. So whatever work she has to do, she'll just open the machine and work on that. So that is where the learner is. That's what the kind of learners we're dealing with nowadays. So we had to prepare for that. So that's a kind of a so-called paradigm shift. I thought of translating it. It's incidental that Professor Kulkarni talked about a paradigm shift. And I also had similar kind of envisioning of that kind of thing. How do I really put across that there is a need to bring in some kind of resources there, because the learner has changed. And even the teaching learning scenario has changed dramatically, whether we like it or not, but it is there. Going further, one more point I want to make here, that is, there is an information explosion there. That is so much of information available there. This is one of my slides from, I had a presentation about 2-3 months back in one of the FTPs. So I just to make a similar kind of a point, I just Googled it. Chemical bonding is my favorite topic over there. I found that in 0.24 seconds, Google gave me a list of about 503,000 videos on YouTube, videos on chemical bonding. That is enormous. That means the learner has choices. Okay, so that means there's an information explosion. The learner has choice, and even today's learner, I find, has become autonomous, because that's an experience I had when I'm teaching my master's student over there. Some student who doesn't want to come to class, I'm okay with that. because the learner is mature enough, he or she knows what is right or wrong for him. So let him or her take its own call. Just as Professor Kulkarni also said, I give them the freedom. I also have the same kind of a notion that let the learner have, suppose I teach in a given way and the student may be very happy, he'll come forward on that. Suppose I teach in a given way and the learner finds another better representation somewhere else, why should I stop him or her to go there and learn it from there? So learner has become autonomous and learner is matured enough nowadays to decide what, when, and where to learn from. So that is a kind of, again, a paradigm shift. We were, I remember when we were students there, the teacher will teach whatever they teach, we will interact, take some of our notes there, and things will follow thereafter. Now things are very, very different over there. Okay, let's move further. And now we talk about information explosion. Definitely there's too much information available in the open source, but is it a boon or a bane? I say it is both, because what happens is, since there's so much of information available there, how do I make use of it? That's where our learner gets troubled over there. And there's certain issues with that. I'll just briefly touch upon a few of them. The first happens to be, which is for everybody. Learner here is anybody and everybody. Even teacher also is a learner. So I'm looking for some information. So I'm a seeker here. Okay. So learner feels lost in the information available over there because there's so much available there. I do not know what is right, what is not right, which one should I look for, and so on and so forth. That is one big issue with the kind of this information explosion. Second is this information which is available online is not regulated. Very few things. So some university website probably will be regulated one. There will be some control on that. But anybody can go and publish anything on the websites. And this is not regulated or monitored. Even say for matter Wikipedia, okay, there's some kind of a self-regulation over there. But there are a lot of things which are available online which may not be correct. So there's an issue of accuracy and authenticity. I may look for some, because it may happen, I'm looking for something very, very conceptual there, and I come across a video which the person who is delivering that lecture or giving that kind of a content, he or she may not be knowing the things properly. Even I have found a lot of there's a lot of e-platforms nowadays available there, which are commercial ones. I have found fault with them also. Even they make a lot of mistakes and they just go away. So one has to be very careful that there has to be accuracy and authenticity of the content over there. And then another issue with the content available over there on the websites or on the internet in general is that the e-resources may not be as per our need. I need, because suppose I look at, say, a chemical bonding only. So if I'm a learner of, say, BSc General here, and I'm looking for, say, a topic on chemical bonding, so I have my objective to cater to the kind of curriculum I have. I may come across a video, say, from somewhere from West, and that happens to be, again, a good video, but the contexts are very, very different over there. But another issue is the so-called accent over there, because the video may be good, but I'm not able to understand that one. And then the contexts are very different. If I look at some video, any video which comes from, say, US or from Europe and all, so they will have their own reference points over there. The contexts are different. Our contexts are different. If I will talk about certain my examples here at India, in Delhi, or for that matter, will be different from what anybody else has it in, say, US or elsewhere. So the resources have to be attuned. And then, so in the light of these four issues I raised over there, so I personally feel this is a very strong belief I have, is that the learner here, especially our learner at IGNOU, who is doing a BSc program or kind of things with us, needs some kind of a hand-holding. He or she needs to be kind of helped in navigating this sea of information over there. So I don't want my learner to be lost into this sea of information and get dissuaded rather than by facilitated by that. So that is one thing I personally very strongly feel about it. The learner needs some kind of a hand-holding. And also in the same light, the role of teacher now has become very different from what we had when I was a student. The role of teacher was different, but today it's more of a facilitator or a navigator for the learner. So you provide information there, as Professor Kulkarni was telling, I create my video, give it to them, so, and then also give the resources to look into elsewhere. So we are facilitating their learning. Learning happens only when the learner intends to and has the right kind of resources with that. So that puts my things in perspective, that basically I want to talk about what are resources, and then why do we need them. So that is the need I personally feel. Why do we need resources for that matter? And to top it all, this COVID-19 has put its own stamp on this. That is, you have no choice, you have to go online. So whether we like it or not, it's a matter of compulsion now that we have to use e-resources. Earlier we could, as Professor Kulkarni also was telling, we had a choice earlier. Now we do not have a choice. We have to fall into this domain of so-called e-learning, online learning, digital learning, or whatever. They all are similar terms over there. So that is the justification we have to go for e-resources. And to add to that, I basically want to restate that I would want my learners to have the right kind of resources over there. Okay, let's go further. Just for sake of it, quickly, e-resources at IGNOU, I'll now demonstrate all of them. Basically, we have got eGyanKosh. It's a digital repository of all the content created by all distance learning institutions. Then we got web-enabled academic support. I'll demonstrate that also. And then we got FB Live, Facebook Live, YouTube, and so on and so forth. And then as regards the national resources, basically I'm referring here to whatever has happened in the past, say from 2006 to today, because 2006 was when it was started, that Sakshat portal was started. Incidentally, I happened to be a part of that initial kind of volunteers over there who were working on that. So from there to today, a lot of water has flown down the sea, and there are a lot of resources have come up over there. Basically, I'm talking about the National Mission on Education through ICT. And the resources are enormous over there. The first one, I'm just giving the most pertinent for our BSc learners over there. Swayamprabha, learners and even the teachers also. Swayamprabha, channel 8 I'm referring to because that caters to the chemistry part of it. Then we got CEC, UGC. That is, CEC happens to be a body of UGC. So this is a sister concern of that. That basically deals with the e-resources kind of things, videos and things like that. Then we got EPG Pathshala. I'll talk about all of them. I'll just show them all. There's certain virtual labs where IIT Mumbai also contributes very significantly. And then we've got Swayam, we've got Sakshat, we've got NPTEL, and so on and so forth. The list is really very, very wide. You can even add about Vidya Mitra or e-Acharya. There are a lot of terms over there. So they all, actually, the content is similar one, only the different platforms on which these are integrated. Like e-Acharya is the one where all this content is put together. So on one-stop portal, you can have everything. Then in addition to that, I'm holding myself here because I'm talking about BSc learners over there. And otherwise, you can have a lot of resources for our research scholars and things like that. Digital Library, NDL is there, National Digital Library, and so on and so forth. So I'm not touching on that at all. Then going further, the global, basically the resources which are outside of this, so which I find very useful because our content is fairly good at IGNOU. But our learners, suppose they want to go for something more, they don't have access to libraries in that way, what we used to have. So there's certain available resources, say college open textbooks. And then there is an open textbook library. You just Google that, you go over there and look for the content you're looking for, because practically a lot of subjects, books are available over there. And these books are created by experts which are volunteered over there. And they're done by good people. And this is free, everything is free, but the content is very, very good. You can, because the thing I want to really emphasize again and again is the authenticity part of it. So these books you can rely on. Okay, so but not everybody can afford to buy a book, because the clientele, actually one more point I was really thinking when Professor Kulkarni was talking is the clientele, what he's referring to and the clientele we interact with is poles apart. He's dealing with people at IIT Mumbai, and we are dealing with students at BSc General at IGNOU. And the numbers, his maximum number was say 1100 cohort. We have the numbers running into my BSc cohort this year happens to be about 17,000 students. How do I reach out to them? So that's a very, very, very different scenario altogether we have there. Anyway, we still are striving hard to reach out to them. And then we are really making some progress in that direction. Some more resources are OpenStax again. And then you can have MIT Open Courseware, one of the earliest one over there. Then Khan Academy is very famous. And then their videos are fairly good. And then of course, Wiki Educator and so on and so forth. Okay, so that is all about my presentation. And I had taken up a few questions, but I don't need to talk about them here because they have been taken up by Professor Kulkarni, and he has done a very wonderful job. So I don't have to go into that again. Okay, now let me just put off my presentation and share with you the resources. First, I'll start with what we have at IGNOU, and then we move on to some more resources. The national ones are the important one over there. Now, to begin with, how do I go about it? So first of all, no, it's for the learners and the teachers alike. So I just go to, I also want to give you the navigation part of it. That how do I reach to where I want to go? So I open my IGNOU's website over there, just go down there, and then we have a link here called as IGNOU Online. I click on that. So this opens up, and this is our IGNOU Online platform over there. And herein we have got eGyanKosh. eGyanKosh, as I was telling earlier, is basically a repository of all the content created, because all our learning material is available over there, self-learning material. Along with that, a lot of videos and many more things over there. So that all is a national repository over there. And it is free for anybody, and everybody can access it. You can even download our content and study from there. Across board, not essentially that we have to have an IGNOU student. You can be anybody can download our content and make use of it because it's free. Now, if you just click on eGyanKosh, this interface opens over there. This has really changed very recently here. So what I find here is now our BSc learners, they need to know where their books are. They would have got the books at home. If they're not got it, they can get it here. The books are here. So you can see the linkages here. So this is our IGNOU's self-learning material, SLM. You click on that, then what happens is you go to the schools which you belong to. Say we are talking about School of Sciences. You click on that, and then you come to which level, because all our content is available here. Whether we talk about certificate programs, diploma programs, degree programs, and so on and so forth, everything is over there. It's a very, very massive content over there. So say for our BSc learners, so I'm talking about the BDP, that is a bachelor degree program. I click on it, current one here. So right now, IGNOU is offering 2 BSc programs simultaneously, because one is the current new one there, the so-called BSc under CBCS scheme of UGC. So that is our BSc-G, and what we were offering earlier, that happens to be BSc. So all content is available there, the earlier books and the new ones over there. So here, if you click, then you can go to the kind of contents we are looking forward there. So that I'm not getting further into that one. Okay, so that is how do I navigate to from IGNOU to eGyanKosh to the content I'm looking for. Okay, now let me go back, and right here, because eGyanKosh actually has now become very, very wonderful here, because what you have is IGNOU YouTube videos. If you click on that, so that takes you to our YouTube channel, because the linkages are there. Again, the videos have been categorized school-wise. So since I'm talking about BSc program, I'm talking about School of Sciences, I click on that. So I have the collection in this community. There's a lot of videos over there. So you can just look into that. What do you want? They're not subject-wise, but they are just listed over there to look for the content you're looking for and then make use of them there. That is another resource here. Then going back to eGyanKosh, I find that this is a more recent one that thanks to this pandemic, because we started with our Facebook live sessions over there. So all those Facebook live sessions have been recorded and put over there. So they all are available. So incidentally, chemistry has not done much in this direction. So chemistry may not get it, but other subject students can get a lot of information there. And that also be put together in terms of the courses there. Okay. So that is the IGNOU resources I'm talking about. Now going further back, so this is about eGyanKosh. eGyanKosh gives you linkages to our self-learning material, number 1. Number 2, YouTube videos. Number 3, Facebook live sessions over there. So all the 3 are put together into one domain itself. So that is one-stop portal in a way. Now, what we have done recent past to reach out to the learners, which are in large numbers, we thought of a possibility, because thanks to our NCIDE, National Center for Innovations in Distance Education, we have a center at IGNOU. So they conceptualized it, and then we collaborated with them. We have created what is called as a WIAS, that is Web-Enabled Academic Support. Let me just take you there. Again, I go back to my IGNOU website, and on this side here, the links over there, you have a link right here, the second last in the bottom, that is Web-Enabled Academic Support, WEAS in short. If I click on that, what do I get? I reach out to this interface there. So that is our web-enabled academic support. Basically, we are trying to give academic support to all our learners across the country through this portal over there, this interface over there. And herein, this is still an evolving platform over there. So we're dealing with the graduate programs. You start with this. We have got a BSc General program here. So you can click on this. It will take you to the BSc General page over there, wherein we have got smaller pages over there, say chemistry, mathematics, and physics, and so on. So even geology is there. So let me take down to, then we have got many more course programs over there. It is a very massive platform now, catering to a lot of certificates and diploma programs, and also our BSc program is very, very significant here because the number is very large here. Now, if I just say, let me take you to the chemistry website here. If I click onto the chemistry, that's the interface we have. That is the chemistry main page. Right on the first page, what you find is these are the courses we have. These two are first semester courses, these two are second semester courses, and the third semester course also has come. More will follow because we're still evolving, we're still creating the courses, let's say. And then to begin with, these are the assignment links because there are assignments there which are available over here. So that is on the first page itself. And then there are many more information over there. These are the links for the previous terms over there. And then we have given links for our previous year question paper because BSc General program happens to be a new program. So we do not have previous year question papers here. But since the curriculum is similar in a way to some extent, so there's some kind of a mapping we have done. Say for a given course like BCH CT 131, that's a first semester course, the students can look into the question papers of CHE1 and CHE5 courses of the previous version of IGNOU. That all the question papers are available on the IGNOU website over there. So that will give you an idea about what kind of questions to expect, what is the pattern of the questions. What's important is that normally when we set up a paper, we try to cover the whole curriculum. So that's one has to keep in mind. So you just can't manage with, suppose I do only a few topics, so it will be a little difficult. So it's advisable that you look into the whole content because our paper caters to the whole paper content over there. Very few topics are ever left out over there. So we normally try to balance it over there. Okay, that's one bit. Now to go to different courses, I have got links right here, or I can even go to the top here. From here, this is say BCH CT 133. This is a second semester course. I can go from here, or I can link from here. This is the same link over there, but only two ways to reach out there. Let me go from the top. If I take BCH CT 133, if I click on this, so that gives me the course content for this particular one. So if I just go down a bit, so that's the courses, our energetics and equilibrium. Now in this case, my internet is bothering a bit right now. Okay, it should not. Anyway, the content is available here. So you can just click on that. You can download our content from here. So you have resources. This is a kind of a mirror of what we have at eGyanKosh, because our master resource is eGyanKosh. All our content is available on the eGyanKosh, but from there we have facilitated to bring it over there. So that becomes, for our BSc General students, this becomes the interface over there. So they have the content, they have got assignments with them. So everything is available right here. So that is one. This will take some time to open down there. Let me go down a bit. Okay. So this actually is very interesting. This course actually I was handling, and when we published the content, one of the learners here pointed out an error in one of the numerical problem which was solved there. So I have put in some kind of an errata over there. That is a wonderful thing. I can't do it in my otherwise medium. So I give the books to learners, they go there. So I have no means of correcting that. But this provides me an opportunity to make that kind of a correction also, and the errata also I can give there. So this particular question was not answered properly. So I have redone it. This is in English, this is in Hindi. All our content happens to be bilingual. We have in English, we also have a Hindi version of that. So that's very, very important. So same thing is here also. Then what do we have is, this is my second volume of that. The content goes down. And then, okay. So then comes this our so-called e-enrichment of that, because typically our mainstay here happens to be the content we published. That's the booklets, the blocks we say. So the blocks go to the learners, they learn from there. But now with this kind of an interface, we are providing much more than that. Our blocks are that's a mainstay. But just to supplement that, there's a lot of information there. So there are certain PowerPoint presentations I made. I put it over here. The students can download and make use of it. Even the teachers can, when they're doing counseling for our learners, they can download these presentations and make use of it. But I have put a few of them. Physics people have done many more than that. And then there is a link to a lot of video lectures. So this was a new endeavor for me as well, because since I was looking into this portal, I'm looking into. So in the time of pandemic, I thought, how do I reach out? So one way was easiest one was to learn about how to make a YouTube channel. So I learned about it, how to record a video, how to put into YouTube, make a small channel. I made a channel. So the videos are there on my YouTube channel there, but I've given the linkages over there. So they are right here. Only a few of them are there, but more will be following. And then these are all new videos which I've created here. That is in this past few months. And these are from my colleagues. Certain more videos are there. And then these are resources, so-called open education resources. So one of our colleagues has looked into the topic she was talking about. So resources pertinent to that, say chemical equilibrium and things like that. So whatever is available on the websites, on the internet. So that is what I'm talking about, hand-holding. So here she has gone to the internet, looked for the videos of right kind, which can be of use to my learners. They have been put over here. Similarly, we've gone across, and there are a lot of videos which are useful for our learners. So this is my colleague over here. Again, she also has done a YouTube channel, and then some videos are created over there. So basically, the point I want to bring home is that this platform, WEAS, is a web-enabled academic support to our learners that provides all the content we have, number one. Number two, it gives you the assignments and also a lot of supplementary material which you can bank on. So all this material I'm referring to here it pertains to the content covered over there. So it's not that any video will come over there. They have been really scrutinized and put into that so that the learner doesn't feel lost into the internet over there. That's one. Then we also have a very, very crucial component here. Unfortunately, it's not used as much as we expect it to be. That is the discussion forum. As Professor Kulkarni was talking about, some kind of a peer interaction. So this platform provides that. The basic purpose of this platform is that, say a learner is learning, you're reading a unit, you find there's some kind of a problem there. You raise the problem here. You raise an academic question there. And then what happens is, me as a teacher here, I'm looking into this on a regular basis. And also all our learners are looking into this. So if I'm a learner, I raise a question there, and some fellow learner may have answer to that one. He or she can put in over there. Some kind of interaction can build in over there. But unfortunately, in this recent past, this has not been used as much in terms of some kind of academic interaction. It's more of, well, how do I do this? How do I do that? And so on and so forth. But still, this gives an opportunity to interact. There's a provision is there. We also have provisions to conduct live videos on this. We will be doing that in a later time. But right now, this is where we are. Then also, there's a small link over there for announcements. So whatever recent announcement are there, we try to put it over there so that everybody has info. Because nobody regularly goes to IGNOU website. So this provides you a platform, because that is our learning resource here. You have all your content, assignment questions over there, videos to look into, other resources there. Everything is in one stop over there. Then also have a provision to interact with the teachers as well as the fellow learners there. And then there's certain, this is very, very interesting. This is done by one of our regional centers there. The YouTube videos for fresh learners. That is very, very pertinent. That's why I found it very useful and have integrated over there. So this gives me, this is done by our colleague Mrs. S. Radha, I suppose. So she has given a very small 2-3 minutes videos over there, how to change program. They're very pertinent for our learners because the learners are across the country and some may not be that fortunate to have the connectivity of the kind required over there. So they need help. So this has been beautifully done by Dr. S. Radha. How to change program, how to access central library at IGNOU, how to download IGNOU study material. So all that she has done. That's a wonderful resource again. I thought of putting it here. So that is our resource, which we have kind of trying to utilize in this time where the learners are not really accessible, and even they are held up at their own places because of this pandemic over there. That is as regards IGNOU. Let me go further now. Let me take you to the resources, so-called national resources there. And in that, the first one I would like to bring in is this. This is the link I will share with everybody. This is called as Channel 8 Swayamprabha. Let me first tell you what is Swayamprabha. Swayamprabha again is a MHRD's initiative. There are about 34, there were 32 earlier, 2 more have come up now. So there are 34 channels. Thanks to our ISRO, they have put satellites over there, so we are able to manage these channels over there. There are 34 channels which are providing content. And typically for each channel, for every day, there is a 4 hours of fresh content, which is repeated 6 times a day. Okay, so and that content is available because it is available on the, just go to DD, Doordarshan, or maybe you can have your own dish, small dish over there, and these channels are accessible over there. Now, once the content is aired, thereafter, this has been put into a repository. There's a YouTube channel for each of the 34 channels. There are 34 Swayamprabha channels. For each channel, there's a YouTube repository. And this repository I'm referring to here is called as CH8, channel 8. It is Aryabhat, that's a name has been given to that. And this caters to content of mathematics, physics, and chemistry. So this content pertains primarily to our undergraduate students there. All BSc students can make use of this content in mathematics, physics, and chemistry. And then, sorry, what do we have here is that you have this content. These are popular uploads which are having more views over there, and they are put into subject-wise over there. Say I have chemistry. For chemistry, there are about 384 videos which are available there. Incidentally, I happen to have coordinated this activity of creating these videos. We did this, we took up as assigned by to CEC, we had the UGC model curriculum. We took that curriculum and translated that into e-content. So there are about 384 videos which are there, which cover all our BSc curriculum, the older one. But the content remains the same. Only thing is there's a reshuffling into something which was in the first semester becomes in second semester or something like that. Otherwise, all chemistry has been covered in this. So this is a wonderful resource for all our learners. They should use it exhaustively as far as possible, because this very important thing here is that firstly, that this content on these videos is authentic. It's not that anybody has done anything over there and put it onto the website. No. Because there was a mechanism to that. We took experts of the right kind. They created the videos. Then thereafter, another set of experts looked into that videos. They tried to kind of validated that one. Suppose there's some errors were there, they were removed before putting into the website over there. So these videos are by and large error-free. So you can depend on them. They are good, right videos over there. And this is all free. There's no charge. The only thing you need to have is internet connectivity and access to this website over there. Okay. So you just click on that. You have all the videos coming there. And incidentally, this happens to be my ID only. I'll just put it off. Okay, let me just go back a bit. One more thing I want to show here is that, okay, I think, let me put it off. Okay. Where did I go? Okay, I'm sorry. I have clicked something somewhere incorrectly. Okay, let me open it again. So what you find is there is a search option over there. Suppose I want to look into, say, chemical kinetics. I just type chemical kinetics over here and just click it. So I find this. Is one of the very wonderful lectures by Professor Kamath from Baroda. He has done a wonderful job there. So there are about 8-9 lectures from him on chemical kinetics. So they all are there. You can just go through each one of them. So you don't have to go anywhere else for anything on chemical kinetics. The content is there. And then of course, you've got this supplementary material there. Similarly, you can look for other topics, the IR spectroscopy, NMR spectroscopy, and so on and so forth. So that is a wonderful resource. I strongly recommend all our BSc students and even the teachers who are teaching them, our counselors there, to make use of this content. This is a wonderful resource. You must make use of there. Okay, that is about the Swayamprabha part of it. Let me go further and take you to the next resource, which is called CEC. To come to this one, you just type in, Google it, CEC-.nic. You just put it as CEC-UGC, you come over here. This basically deals with the electronic media part of it. Now, this is a site, again, you can spend hours on this to explore. There are a lot of things available there. The one which I want to refer to here is Open Education Resource there. This is the most pertinent for our BSc learners. Incidentally, this content is similar to what we have in case of Swayamprabha. Because Swayamprabha, the content initially was created for this particular purpose here. It was created for CEC. Later on, this Swayamprabha came in. So this was all transported to Swayamprabha also. So it is there and also here. But this is in a different format here. Let me show it to you. To look into this, you just come to the site of CEC. Thereafter, you come to Open Education Resource, click on the Explore button. Once you do this, then there are different possibilities. Kulkarni talked about flipped classes. There's some kind of content here also on that. And then for our concern, we are using with the curriculum classes. So from there, from OER, Open Education Resources, I come to this. I click on curriculum classes. I click on Learn More. When I do this, what do I find is I get a large number of, this is a demonstrative part of it here. But if we just go down this thing, we find that because there are about 67 different subjects that have been covered over here. And our interest happens to be in chemistry. So in science and technology, we've got agriculture, botany, chemistry, and so on and so forth. So for each subject, exhaustive content has been created, and that is all put over here. Say for chemistry, I click on this. So all these papers open up. This is according to UGC's model curriculum. Let me just take, say, paper, say physical chemistry paper, this one. Okay. Or maybe, okay, again, incidentally, they happen to be, let me just move to someone else. Say, let me come to paper 11. Okay. Say, this is elementary quantum mechanics. I have done that one. Okay. Suppose I click on, say, elementary quantum mechanics 12. If I click on this, I come to this interface. Now there are 4 quadrants. That is what is being promoted by MHRD, that the e-content, we talk about e-content, when you say e-content module, that basically means I'm dealing with 4 different components of that. It's called as 4 quadrant there. If I click on first quadrant in case of CEC, then what happens is, these are about half-an-hour videos there. And in this video, what is the objective of this particular half-an-hour session there? Objective, summary, and even FAQ. FAQ happens to be, in this half-an-hour video, whatever possible questions can come to the learner. So the questions have been thought of, the answer, model answer also have been given. So basically our purpose is to let the learner know how to answer a question. Because our learners are very, very special, very different. When I'm dealing with a conventional system, I'm teaching in a class, so I know whether learners learned or not learned it, and he or she does an assignment, I evaluate and tell them, okay, aise nahi karna tha, aise karna tha. That is possible there. But in an online situation, and more to the learners which are spread across the country, we had to have a different kind of resource. So herein, we have given them, okay, suppose this question comes, what kind of answer? This is not the only answer there, but that is how to answer the question. So this gives you some kind of model answers over there. This feature figures in our self-learning material also. Okay, that is about my first quadrant there. And in the second quadrant, if you click, you find that there are certain small linkages there, because there is about half-an-hour video. This video has been chunked into smaller portions. So this is about defining molecular systems. If I do, that will give me the first part of it. So hydrogen molecule ion, designing, shorting a wave equation for that one. If I click on this, so this will take me to, this is actually a half-an-hour video which is available on the Swayamprabha, but it has been chunked into smaller portions so that you can see it in small bits of 5 minutes each and all. So if you look at hydrogen molecule ion, it's a very simple. So that is what it is. Okay, so that is about the second quadrant. And in the third quadrant, what we have is the references. That means what kind of references are, some books are suggested over there, and certain web links have also been given. So these links also are not random links. So they have been looked into so that they do make sense vis-a-vis the content covered in this particular module over there. So that is about this. And the fourth one happens to be the assignment and quiz. This assignment basically is a small set of 4 or 5 questions which can arise from this half-an-hour session there. Some questions were thought of and answered as FAQ. Some more questions are given for the learners to answer on their own. Okay, so this is a package. This is one content. Well, this is one e-content, and we have got about 384 such e-contents there. That is this massive content we have created, and this is I repeat that this is an authentic content. You can bank on this because by and large, as I said earlier also, this will be error-free. Small errors might still have crept in, but by and large, they have been seen carefully over there. So that is about very, very crucial content which our BSc learners can make use of, the teachers and the learners. Even the teachers who are teaching across the country can make use of these resources over there. Okay. Now, if I just come back to right here also, if I talk about CEC, okay. Okay, let me just continue from here itself. Then CEC also has a YouTube channel. This channel is independent. It's not same as Swayamprabha. This is CEC's own channel there. And if you click on this, there again, CEC does it on a regular basis, on a daily basis. They televise, they kind of conduct videos, they conduct sessions, live sessions, and they are put into this channel over there. So here again, you have a lot of subjects there. And if you just scroll down a bit, you find that there is, where is it? And here it is. Applied sciences, natural and applied sciences. There is a content on chemistry. There are about 206 videos right here. Sorry. And then, so you have got listing of whichever video you want, you can have a look at it. So it's a very exhaustive list again. I also have contributed just a few of them over here. But by and large, this again, the resource comes from various sources. These are faculty from different colleges in Delhi University, primarily. So they are the ones who have posted over there. So that is about chemistry part of it. And you have content on variety of subjects there. Humanities, social sciences, and things like that. Everything is available over there. This again is a one-stop portal, which is for all undergraduate can make use of it. Okay. Now, this is about the YouTube channel of CEC. And let me come back to the home of CEC. There again, one more feature which is of interest to all of us. This, if you look into the Swayamprabha here, this gives you linkages to all 34 channels there. I'm not getting into that because the content which is relevant to me happens to be the channel 8, which I've shared with you. The channel 9 is for life sciences and so on and so forth. There are 34 channels. 3 of them are managed by IGNOU also. The one is by Open School, one is by NCERT, and so on and so forth. And there are 5, 6 are done by IITs as well. Okay, but one thing which I will probably like to share is about CEC MOOCs. MOOCs provides you, CEC is a big contributor because there are a number of coordinators, national coordinators for different MOOC programs over there, what is called a SWAYAM program, SWAYAM platform. And CEC contributes to that as well. So if you look at the UG MOOCs, that is for undergraduates, if you click on that, you will reach on to, okay, where is it? Okay, this is right here, sorry. This is opening here. So these are categorized over here. So let me just come to, say, chemistry. But right now, there is one MOOC available there. If I just click on this go to course, this will take me to the SWAYAM platform where this MOOC course is available there. This is chemistry of D block elements, quantum chemistry and spectroscopy. That is I think it's the third or fourth semester course, which is being done by a person from Sagar University. Okay, so this again is very, very crucial. And MOOCs takes time to talk about. I will skip for the moment, but this is again a very, very important resource available there, which can be made use of by our learners. You can take the course of your interest, not necessarily do it chemistry. because this again is a free resource. This is a so kind of development which has happened in past few 10-15 years now. This is thanks to the education cess we pay, because that is the big money which has come to Government of India, and that has been put into use in terms of creating infrastructure of this kind, the resources, and also the networking. All colleges have got internet now. That is coming from, that money is coming from our forces only. That is, we have given the we are paying cess on that. Okay, so this about MOOCs and all. I just heard, if you just go to the CEC site, you can keep exploring the variety of things over there. But the three which are pertinent to us, I've talked about it. One is the so-called e-content modules in detail about all the components of that. And mind you, all this can be downloaded and put to use. No, there's no restriction of any kind. There's no charge on anything of this kind. Swayamprabha is free. MOOCs are free. CEC content is free. And mind you, this all content is our own resource, the national resource, created by our faculty, our teachers, and you will find them useful because the contexts are our contexts. The contexts are not what is there in US and other places over there. So that is very, very important, that this content belongs to us, and probably you will be able to relate to that better than any other content which is available on the internet over there. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. And this, I can keep doing it, the variety, even Swayam also, you can keep exploring the variety of things over there. And then one more thing which I wanted to touch upon was this EPGP, that is EPG Pathshala. This again is a baby of UGC only, because money has come from Ministry of MHRD. This is basically, as the name suggests, indicates, it is EPG Pathshala. That is, it's a E content is there, and PG means this content refers to the postgraduate students, the master level students over there. And this will be relevant to the teachers which are participating in today's session over there. The teachers who are already postgraduates, but if they want a supplementary material, the new content over there, or the e-content available, you can explore to this site. That's called as a EPG Pathshala. Okay, that is very, very, then we have got variety of resources in this. And then UGC MOOCs also, you can go from here, because nowadays all these sites are interrelated, and the master of all these sites happen to be Sakshat, which I've not shown you, because that was the seed of this happened in Sakshat, and that has opened into a tree with a lot of branches over there. These all are branches. CEC content over there, Swayamprabha is a branch there, the MOOCs is a branch, and EPG Pathshala is a branch, and then many more are there. You talk about Vidyamitra, you talk about eAcharya. They are different resources. So InflipNet is really helping a lot in that direction there. Okay, and then since there were a lot of queries about talking about virtual labs, so herein again, this again is a content which is funded by MHRD, and it is through National Mission on Education through ICT, NME ICT, and in this a lot of institutions have come together and contributed in creating virtual labs. So then we got virtual labs in different domains over there, and physical sciences or chemical sciences we can look into, but I find they are not the ones which probably will be of interest to our undergraduate students over there, because you will see that the IIT Kanpur has done this, IIT Hyderabad, and so on and so forth. But the labs which are done by Amrita Vidyapitham, they are more pertinent one, because they are at slightly lower level there. Say if I look into organic chemistry virtual lab there, or they have labs on, say, simple titrations and things like that. So that is available there. You click on that and that will show you. So this gives you, you can see that this is physical chemistry virtual lab over there, because that is of interest nowadays to a lot of people there. So that's a list of experiments. We have got calorimetry, cryoscopy, and then EMF measurement, spectrophotometry. How do we do that? Suppose I talk about spectrophotometry. If I click on it, my internet is slightly slow today. Doesn't matter. We are still able to sail through. Okay. So this is simulation over there. Yeah, I've not done it before. I do not know what exactly is going to come out. But okay, you can simulate. Probably there's some kind of interface over there. So you take what is the system you're taking, say cobalt chloride or Anyway, doesn't matter. Different systems we're talking about. Then we can change the concentration, then what happens over there. So you can basically interact with that and see that how the things are related over there. But I've seen the one which they created on titration. That is very simple. What they do is they tell you about what is the principle behind it, and then how do we go about it, and then give you some kind of interactivity that you just add with the help of some kind of a pointer over there. Volume of the titrant can be added, and you can see the color change and see, okay, this endpoint has come. So that's quite good, useful ones. But the only thing is there are not very many. Only few are there, because that, as Professor Kulkarni was telling, that takes hell of a time to create them, because you need very specialized kind of people to do it. The resources are required, and even a lot of money is required for that. But still, things are happening, and with this pandemic around, and with this need is really strongly felt that we have to have more on virtual labs there. So that is one more thing I thought I'll share with you all. And I can continue doing this, but I think I'm running out of my time. Just one more thing I would like to probably show you, because most of things Professor Kulkarni has done with all the questions there. But one thing, as I mentioned before, to draw structures, we can use ChemSketch. ChemSketch is a free software. That's wonderful. You use it. You can create a content over there, translate into the 3D. You can see that this comes as a package. The whole package is free. The only thing is you have to register yourself and then download the package and use it. That's all. One more thing which is useful here is this is called as MoleView. That is moleview.org. This is very, very wonderful. This is, I think, probably a very useful tool which can be made use of is, now this is a 2D structure of the molecule. This is a 3D representation of the same thing. Now suppose I want to look into a molecule like, say, butadiene. I write butadiene over there. So this comes here. I click on it. So you see that butadiene is come here. This is in 2 dimensions. This is in 3 dimensions there. So I can just see here. Okay, so that is how butadiene will be. Now suppose I want to, just give me a moment. Okay, now suppose I want to change the structure. So this becomes your 2-methyl butadiene. I'll change one molecule now. As you click on 2 to 3D, you see that this molecule has come there. This is 2-methyl butadiene. So you can see how does it look like and all. So you can, because the biggest positive thing with this particular website is that this gives you a wide variety of molecules there. You can think of maybe, say, benzene we were talking about. Say benzene, or you can benzamide. Okay, let's see, look at how does benzamide look like. So that is what benzamide is. The structure is there. And if you want to use it for your, say, presentation, just take a screenshot of it. Take a screenshot, crop it, and put it into your presentation. As simple as that. So this is a very, very wonderful resource. You want to show it in 2D, you want to show it in 3Ds. Someone has actually scribbled on this, so this is showing on everything. But this I can't undo at my end. Okay, anyway, so this is just, okay, you can just adjust it to the way you want to show it to your learners. The students, take this, take a screenshot. I've taken a screenshot here. So this has come there. I can just kind of crop it here and make it do my presentation there. Okay, so you can see that how easy it is to create this kind of, use these kind of things there. Okay, what has happened? Okay, let me just put off. Okay, so this is again back to MoleView there. So this I find a very, very useful tool for teaching learning. Firstly, if you want to show to your class, just with the molecule you want to show, type it over there, show the molecule in 2D, show the molecule in 3D right away. And then there are many more, JMol, JSMol, a variety of things available there, but there's not enough time to talk about all that. But this I find is very, very straightforward, because it's right, just click onto the website, it is available online. And there's a big repository of the content there. You can even have a lot of more things you can explore there. Even protein structure can be looked into. A big protein can be seen in 2D and 3D and so on and so forth. And JMol also can be linked from here. I'm not getting into that right now. I think but that's where I would like to stop for today. I hope I have been able to make some sense to some people somewhere. Thank you very much. Hello. Hello. What happened?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
I have finished my talk.
okay. Fine.
I hope people were there.
Yes. We
Yes,
have
sir.
people
We were there.
watching on
I
YouTube.
was
and
really
also-
wondering. I thought I was talking to my computer only.
No, sir. We were there, sir. Very informative
Yeah,
talk, sir.
I hope I have made some sense.
No. It is a really excellent talk that you covered both IGNOU resources, national resources, and also the international resources. And
Why I'm not able to
you have
see-
given the free software for 3D structures also,
Yeah.
and which there are questions from students also. They want to know the free resources
But
available.
why I'm not able to see you all? So what is happening? Something is wrong. Okay.
Can you not see me?
No, it's
I
okay. I had actually put off this thing now because I wanted to do a full screen there, so I put off this picture visuals.
Uh-huh.
From okay now.
These
Yes,
are the
sir.
limitations we have.
Okay.
And
I think, so before you
really-
go ahead, I'll share with you 2 resources there. I'll give you, I'll mail it to you. You can give it to your learners over there. One is, I have, can I show it to you in a minute?
just show it. No problem.
Okay. Where is that? Actually, Zoom में गड़बड़ हो जाता है. One is okay. I have put together. This actually is available on our website also now. This is e-resources for self-learning. This document is there on our website as well.
Okay.
So what we have here is, this is, I was talking about Sakshat here. So Sakshat portal is there. The linkage is there. Just click here. You can go to Sakshat. Okay. And then this is a QR code there on your mobile phone. Just scan this QR code. This Sakshat portal will open on your mobile phone.
Oh.
Okay. Similarly, this is Swayam Prabha channel 8 I was referring to. And this is, if you want to look into CEC, this is a YouTube, the QR code for that one. And then for Swayam, this is the QR code. EPG Pathshala, this is a link over there. So all links are available there. This document I'll share with you. You share with everybody. Okay. This is eGyan Coach also, link is there. And then open text book and OER Commons, this I didn't talk about. And then eAcharya, Virtual Labs, NPTEL. So all these are put together. I made it as a small Creative Commons this thing. So this is an OER which is available for anybody to use. So this I will share with you. In addition, I've also put together, when I talked about Swayam Prabha, the content we have created for CEC. So there are about 18-90 videos, 78 or more than 80 videos I have created for myself. I only have contributed to that one. So the links of that videos are here. I put together the links there, the topic and the link for that. One is you go to Swayam Prabha and search for it. Second is you just click on it from here, and then you can go to Swayam Prabha, and this video will open over there. And so the students can make use of it. So this is on spectroscopy somewhere.
Very nice.
So this is there. So this also I will share with you. This is on vibration spectroscopy. Okay, I think these 2 things I will share with you. You please give it to all our learners. Thank you so much. Now we can get back.
Thank you, Professor Sanjeev, for excellent and very lively talk, and also very practical based resources. And I liked one point you said that the teacher is a facilitator or a navigator.
Yeah.
And that is really great with navigating. Yes, navigating so many resources is very difficult for a student. And it is really a true sense of today's teacher's role. And thank you very much. These videos are available on the website, IGNOU YouTube channel also, so that they can refer anytime and they can use it. And also, for all the listeners, I wish to say that Professor Sanjeev Kumar has given his email ID also in every slide.
You're most welcome. Just refer to this one and give me a question. Yeah.
Yes. So thank you so much, Professor Sanjeev. Very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Now
Thank you
we
so
will
much.
proceed for the next talk by Dr. Mrs. Srimati Shakti Gomti Sridhar. And I request Dr. Shakti Sharma, our coordinator of Sadabai Raiswani Women's College Study Center, to give a brief introduction of the speaker.
Thank you so much, sir. A very good afternoon to one and all present here. I have the privilege to introduce Dr. Gomti Sridhar. Dr. Gomti Sridhar, Associate Professor and Head, Department of Chemistry, V.K. Krishna Menon College of Commerce and Economics and S.S. Dighe College of Science, Mumbai. Dr. Gomti is a PhD in Organic Chemistry and MSc Chemistry from Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Bombay, with a silver medal and secured first position in graduation from MSc Chemistry. She has 25 years of teaching experience at graduate and postgraduate level. Dr. Sridhar has several papers published in national and international journals. She has authored 2 textbooks for BSc for University of Mumbai and has co-authored 1 book chapter, Reaction Mechanisms and Stereochemistry. Ma'am has delivered various guest lectures and has been a resource person at various conferences and workshops. Her areas of interest are stereochemistry, stereoscopy, natural product, and reaction mechanisms. I humbly invite ma'am to deliver her talk on glimpses of the fascinating world of e-resources in chemistry. Welcome, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Now we can hear. Yes.
Okay. So let me. Is my screen also visible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes. Thank you very much, madam, for a very kind introduction. There are 2 kinds of speakers who have difficult jobs. One is the speaker before lunch and the speaker after lunch. So I am the speaker just before lunch, and so I hope that I will be able to hold the attention of the audience for the next 30-40 minutes. I am extremely grateful to Dr. Kulkarni as well as Dr. Kumar, who have set the stage for this lecture. When you're following eminent speakers, then you need to be different. So I was, during the lecture of Dr. Kumar, I was a little bit worried whether there will be an overlap, but now I will let the participants of today decide whether there is an overlap or not. Okay, so technology is something that we have to live with. This is a depiction of the top 200 tools for learning 2020. This came out around 14th of September this year. And you see all the resources that we have taken for granted now. Dr. Kulkarni was talking about the fact that we have no choice. And that is really very true. But having said that, I will also say that technology is here to stay, and the young people of today are much more efficient in navigating through technology. And we must use the power of technology to augment and supplement our teaching. So all those tools are here. You have the office tools, you have the social media tools. We will talk about one of them just to see how ubiquitous technology is. And I believe that we cannot fight technology. So if you can't fight it, we must join it. So technology is here to stay, and we will use it for the best possible result. Okay, so I just put together a list of learning objectives for this lecture, right? So at the end of this session, participants should be able to search for e-resources in chemistry efficiently, evaluate the quality of resources, use e-resources, store and retrieve collections of resources and know what Creative Commons licenses are. Okay. Now, Dr. Kumar's lecture was indeed extremely informative and exhaustive. He has put together all the resources that are available in all our channels. Often we do not appreciate the kind of resources that this country has. In order to give you a perspective of what resources that are available in our country, must tell you a conversation that I had with Dr. Larry Cooperman. He's the Dean of the Open Consortium in the University of Irvine, University of California, Irvine. And he told me, quote unquote, that the e-resources in India are unmatched. Okay. And so that is something that I will always carry, that we have the people and we have the resources, and we must appreciate the resources that we have here. So what I have done today is to see that I've put together a lot of resources. I will show some of these resources, and internet permitting, of course, because all these are online. But what I emphasized was to put together the links so that you don't go through the internet searching for them. Okay. So there are many, many resources, but what you need is someone to go through those resources and tell you that this is the best for this particular need. So that is what I have done today, to put through some of these resources. But before that, I wanted to know what is the kind of audience that I am talking to. Okay, so I put together a poll. Can my screen be still seen? Is my screen still seen?
Yeah, Gomti, we can see that. It's
Yes.
just not full screen.
Yeah. I wanted to go for a presentation, so I will do that. So I request all of you to go to this website called www.menti.com. And when you go through your browser, and when you go there, you can see they will ask you for a digit code. Please input this digit code, and then we can have a poll. Okay, so I think Dr. Kulkarni was talking about poll. So I just wanted to give all of you an experience of a poll. So where everyone was able to do this, go to www.menti.com and input the digit code 2949687. And then I should be able
I think you can even just scan the QR code and do it too.
Sorry, come again, sir?
One can scan the QR code and do the same.
Yes. Yeah, I put all of it in my presentation. So some of you can go through QR codes or you can go through the link. I'm just hoping my internet will cooperate. Yes, it did. So I wanted to know, this is what I normally do, wanted to know what kind of audience that we are talking about. So there are faculty, there is student also. So one of the things that I wanted to mention about doing polls in your class is that you should have people with a good internet facility. Sometimes that doesn't happen, and then the poll falls flat. So, so I have 3 people. So I'm understanding that there is a greater percentage of faculty, but maybe the students are somewhere else in the YouTube or Facebook. Okay, so this is one way where you can find out what you can, what is the kind of audience that you have. Okay, I have the second question. Yes, students it takes time, and that is one thing that you should have. You should have patience while doing these kind of polls from when students are in remote locations.
Oh, beta.
बटुल बड़े चलो चलो चलो
I will wait for some more time because I find the students are still responding. Okay, so it's almost 50-50 faculty and students. Let me go on to the second question, and just wanted to have a feel as to what are the keywords you would use while searching for e-resources in chemistry. So you can input it many times, you can input your words, and these words will show up on the screen. Let's try that. And so what are the keywords you would use while searching for resources? I think Dr. Kumar has already talked about this, maybe some videos, maybe some learning materials. So these are the kind of things that you would search for, right? So if you can input this in your device, then it will show up here. Okay, chemistry, structures, organic, inorganic, physical. So this works in this way. So if your audience is very huge and they all choose a particular word, then that word shows up, highlights. Okay. And so this is one way, this is for the teachers here, in case you have not used the poll. This is one way in which you can find out whether your students have really understood what you have taught them, right? So all the misconceptions are, show up in this kind of polling. I wish that some of you, maybe you know about it and maybe you use it also. And I use it quite regularly in my class so that it brings interest in the students. Yes, thank you very much, all of you, for participating in this poll. I'm going to close the voting. And so I get this idea. People are looking for video lessons, they're looking for structures, resources, okay? But basically, I would have thought that you would have written videos, animations, demonstrations, lecture notes, and things like that. Yes. So I'm going to close the voting. Thank you very much. Let me go back to my presentation. Yeah, so that was a small poll just to get the audience attention. Okay, so basically we are looking at, when you look at resources, we are looking at video resources, virtual labs as mentioned by Dr. Kumar, collections of resources, journals, notes, exams, maybe, MOOCs, open courseware, websites, and in today's time, it is also important to look at social media. So the next part of the lecture is just putting all these together with links, okay? So teaching learning resources for the teachers could be in the form of handouts, demonstrations, tutorials, presentations maybe, which you can use in the class, which is effective use of your time. As talked by Dr. Kulkarni, you can use it for flipped learning, blended learning. If you have all these demonstrations and presentations already prepared, you can use it for these kind of teaching. So there are a large number of websites, as both the speakers before have indicated. What I have done is to give you all those resources in one place. So I will be sharing this presentation with Dr. Shivaswarup and request that all of you can use it. But I looked at places where you will get these. For example, the Royal Society of Chemistry has a huge number of resources. So let me just see if I am able to open the Royal Society of Chemistry site and share it with you. Yes. So these are the resources in higher education. So you have Bignet in chemistry, you have context problem-based learning, you have analytical chemistry introductions, request people to mute Introductory Mathematics for Higher Education, a very important resource. Request people to look at it because very often we get students in chemistry who do not have a mathematical background. Okay, and this interactive periodic table, you can spend hours on it. Okay, maybe I will just click on it. Something that worries me is somebody is writing on the screen. Please refrain from doing that. So what worries me in these kind of sessions is sometimes the internet doesn't give you cooperate with you. So if I click on this, and then it is opening. So it gives you a interactive periodic table, which has, if you click on any one of this, it gives the information. There are also a huge number of resources in terms of videos and things like that. So this is something that a first year BSc student will find useful, because when I compare syllabus from all across the universities of India, every university has a section on periodicity of elements. So please go through this resource and enjoy it as much as I did it. Let me go back to my presentation. Yes, so this is the RSC site. It has, I don't know, I think I'll keep on repeating this word huge. It has humongous resources for higher education. Both teachers and students can use it for visualization as well as presentation. The other, and there are these kind of resources. For example, if you look at the American Chemical Society Green Chemistry resource, okay, yeah, okay, so it's already open here. Yeah, so let us hope it opens. It did. Okay, that is great. So far, so good. Okay, so this is the online educational resources for green chemistry and engineering. And I know that green chemistry is a topic in almost all universities. Okay, so there are textbooks, right? Then a lot of textbooks which you can use for your students. And many more. So I request all of you to explore this site and some of the ACS sites, which has the resources for students as well as educators. They have educational resources and classified for students and educators. Explore chemistry section, as well as the books, some of which are really, really good. So without spending too much time on this, okay, please explore this, because again, as I said, this is a lot of resources which are useful for all of you. Let me go back to my presentation. The next collection of resources are the Marlott collection. Again, it's something that I think I have it open here. Yes, and I hope it opens in a minute. So the Marlott collection as is a collection of videos, demonstrations, PDFs, etc., etc., which are useful for the undergraduate students. Okay, so there are virtual chemistry laboratories, web elements. Somehow the periodic table seems to be very, very fascinating for chemists. That is our basis. So you have a large number of resources on the periodic table. So there is a periodic table. This explores proteins and web spectra. I really like this because there are problems on NMR and IR, and this is for all levels of organic students. And basically it is drill and practice, which allows the student to look at the various different spectra and also draw the structure. There was this question on drawing structures. Okay, so this gives a small site where you can draw the structures. Let me try and open this. And I really like the interface because this forces the student to look at the spectra. Okay, so you have the metadata here. What is the type? It is drill and practice. Okay, date added, etc. The primary audience, general education. And so you and if you go through this, and you can decide if it is for your level or not. Please look at this. All of this can be bookmarked. So at the end of my lecture, I will show you how you collect these resources. I don't know about many of you, but I have often faced this difficulty where I have seen a resource, okay, and then if I'm not very particular and I have not what I should say, taken care of copying the link and preserving it, or whether if I have not, say, downloaded it and put it in a proper folder or things like that, then I often remember the resource, but sometimes I'm lost in the internet trying to find this resource. So one of the things that we need is also to be able to retrieve a resource which that you have seen. So bookmarks come into this. You can also bookmark using Google, but you can use this facility by using another app by which you can collaborate with your students. I am going to go back and I'm asking all of you to explore these materials in great detail so that you can use it for your requirement. Okay, so this was as far as the teaching learning resources are concerned. Okay, I will quickly now go to the spoken tutorials program, which I think Dr. Kumar referred in passing. So spoken tutorials is a initiative of the IITs where a large number of resources have been created by using a free and open source software. What does that mean? That means if you know a little bit of programming, you can also customize these applications to suit your need. So the JMOL application is one where it allows the viewer to create and edit 3D models of chemical structures. I'm not going to open this because Dr. Kumar has already given you a feel of how the 3D models look like. The Chem Collective Virtual Labs is again a simulation of a real chemistry lab. Okay, I agree completely with Dr. Kulkarni when he said that don't do the practicals on the net. Okay, lab is something where the student actually gets a feel of the apparatus and gets his hands dirty, and this is a problem that all of us are grappling with, right? We are trying to bring that lab experience on the net and we are failing very badly. So, but having said that, we get students from a wide range of levels, and therefore simulation experiments are really useful in trying to give the students, get the students to know even basic things like apparatus in a lab, the lab safety, the MSDS data, all of which we can save our time in the lab. We are looking at a situation where we are going into the physical lab, where we have small labs, and therefore, if we want to take labs with social distancing norms, then we will have to take a large number of batches, and therefore, we are trying to offload some of the material that we teach in the lab to the virtual environment. And in these, for these, the virtual labs are really, really very useful. So please look at simulations of real chemistry labs, and the teachers as well as students can have a wonderful experience about doing experiments online without getting your hands dirty. Okay, so Avogadro is another endeavor of the spoken tutorials, which looks at 3D viewer with molecular mechanics and calculation features. Okay, again, it's a free and open source software. That means if you can collaborate with a computer programmer, then you can, even customize it for your requirements. All of these have the links. So that was the effort that I did, so that I put all those links together so that you people do not have to do that first step of searching for resources. These are the PET simulations, which once again are interactive simulations for learning basic chemistry. And then finally is the GChemPaint, which is a 2D chemical structure, but this works only on the Linux operating system. So probably will be of limited use to us. As Dr. Kumar has already commented, we have a huge resource in the form of the National Digital Library of India. The National Digital Library is an initiative where it collaborates with libraries across India, and all the NDLI itself stores metadata, and it has resources which can be obtained from the other libraries. The virtual textbook of organic chemistry, I've just picked up examples so as to give you a feel of what is really available. If you look at the virtual textbook of organic chemistry, this is a resource which has notes, problems about all the topics in organic chemistry. So if I want to open one, it is in a, it's not an animated form or anything, but it fulfills this purpose of looking at resources, especially in a country like ours, which requires a lot of resources. So you look at this, it has a standard format where it talks about this, following which it gives a box where all the important things are done, and then you also have a place which will where you can choose a problem. So this is self-learning for the student. The student can use this, and very nice, very nicely written. And this is the property of Professor William Roish, and I request all of you to explore this resource. Of course, Dr. Kumar has talked about EPG Pathshala, another wonderful resource, and especially the postgraduate students can use it. It is for all the papers, organic, inorganic, analytical. I like the interface very much, where you have both the e-text as well as the video explaining a particular concept, and it is a really, really complete resource for the postgraduate students. Okay, so you also have online video, web, interactive lectures. So you have this podcast. You can have a look at all of these. The Chemistry World is a resource where you have the latest topics in chemistry being discussed. Dr. Kumar has already talked about SWAYAM, but I like the NPTEL format. So I will spend some time to look at the NPTEL resource. Okay, so NPTEL is something that it is part of the SWAYAM umbrella now, and it specifically caters to STEM courses. So you have engineering and you have science courses. Some of the lectures, all the lectures and assignments are available online. It is completely free, and over time, over the last few years, they have put in a huge number of resources and courses. So you have the NPTEL courses in the various subjects, categorized by subjects, which you can see and which you can use. So it is subject wise. You can look at chemistry, biochemistry, for example. Okay, let me click this. Okay, so you have all these resources. There is video which you can see. Okay, and this is a large number of resources are available, primarily targeted at the postgraduates. But some of these resources I have used in my class so that students get a feel of somebody else teaching the topic. This entire thing is free. And if the course is offered in a particular semester, they have 2 semester systems. That is, one is January to June and the other is July to December. And if you need a certificate, then you need to pay. Otherwise, all the material, all the courses are available. And therefore, I understand that in India, there is no dearth of resources. What do you need really to use all this? You need a good internet connection, which is in some places a problem, and you need a lot of patience, and you need a good device, and then you can learn many of the topics by using these resources. So the resources are there, and we need just the will and the ambition to go through them. Okay. Of course, all of you must be knowing about Khan Academy and other things. Okay. There are demonstrations, and these are the demonstrations links. Please go through them. This is the Kent's demonstration lectures, chemistry in action. So it shows many of the things that we want an undergraduate to be careful about. For example, when students come to my laboratory, I'm always worried that they will not use the sodium metal carefully. Okay, so there is a small demonstration, less than 1 minute, in this where you can show what happens if the sodium metal comes in contact with water. So this is a collection of videos which you can show your undergraduate students. This is the VLab that Dr. Kumar was talking about. This is the Amrita, the consortium which put together this resources for VLabs. There was the question in the questions asked by the audience that how can you have free and easily draw structures for chemistry. So there is that ChemSketch. There is also BioViaDraw. Both of them work on the same principle. Okay, so you can register for it, and the link for downloading the software comes online. So all of these are freemium. I hope you understand this. That means there are some free features, but it could be a premium product, that is you have to pay for it, but there are free features, which is more than good for us academics working in smaller institutions as well as for students. So people like us cannot have ChemDraw. Access to ChemDraw is limited, but BioViaDraw does everything that I want for doing a presentation in class, and ChemSketch also the same. And you can do all of this. You can draw the structure, get the IUPAC name, you can see the molecule in 3 dimensions, and so on. So I encourage all of you to go through this. There are tutorials available for drawing these structures, which you can go through. And so believe me, it's not difficult at all to learn, to be able to learn to draw structures, which you can use in your Word document as well as in your presentation. There is something called as LibreText. This is a resource which will give you which will give you learning materials. And this is a completely open source material, which you can reuse, repurpose, and use it completely. And this is all under the Creative Commons license. Okay, and some resources, some more resources on the same kinds. Of course, all of you know about the MIT Open Courseware, and there are videos available there. And some of the videos are old, right? But chemistry doesn't change. So you have videos which shows you acid-base titration. You have some kinetics experiments there. And in fact, it's quite an exhaustive resource which gives you various resources, both for theory as well as for the lab. This is the chemtube3d.com that was referred to by Dr. Kulkarni. Amazing, amazing site. Please go through it. I'm not going to open this, but there is something called, this is a much simpler site. It is the interactive organic reaction mechanisms. Okay, so which talks about few of the reactions and some quizzes, right? So let me just open one and let's see if it does. And it gives you drill and practice. Okay, so it shows you how the SN1 mechanism works. So when I launch the quiz, oh, okay, so my Flash player is blocked. Okay, so I will not be able to open the quiz, but maybe, okay. I'm not going to go into this. I'm not going to go into settings. Okay. Okay. Let's see if it opens now. No, will not go into this. I block Flash. Okay. So those of you that have Flash can look at this interactive organic reaction mechanism. There are chemistry databases. So as a researcher, you may have to look at databases like ChemSpider, MSDS Search, etc. So these are some of the links for those. So ChemSpider is a site where it gives you the alternative the IUPAC name, alternative names. It gives you the boiling points. It gives you the physical and chemical properties. It also connects you with vendors for these kind of chemicals. So if you're running a lab, then you can find out the vendors for these kind of apparatus. And it's again, a large number of compounds are available. It gives you the CAS number, for example. Okay, it gives you the structures and other requirements for that, for each and every molecule that you may come across in your research. I like this specially, okay, because it gives, this is practice test. We undergraduate teachers and students want tests, problems, tutorials, okay. So this is a quiz that I will try and launch. Okay. Yeah, sorry. Okay, so you can look for quizzes in your subject, okay, and there are so many of them, huge number of quizzes which are already done, right? So you can have common chemicals, for example, right? So you can match them and you can interact, have an interactive session with your students. So you have flashcards, matching, concentrations, etc. Right? So please, of course, this is a 30-day free trial and so on. So as a undergraduate teacher in a small institution, I look for stuff that is available free and use it for interacting with your students. And a lot of these are available. Of course, the spectroscopy problem sets, many of you must have already seen. And I just open a little bit and show you. So this is a list of problems. It shows you all the spectra, and it is classified into green, in easy, moderate, and so on. Please have fun. I had a lot of fun by using this with my students. So it gives you this small interface where you can actually draw the structures, and the site will tell you if your answer is correct or wrong. Okay, I think all of you got a gist of what I was trying to say. So there is something on history of chemistry. There is trivia, chemistry trivia for those particularly interested in facts about chemistry. And periodic table is a large number of resources on the periodic table. To spend 2 minutes talking about the journals. So institutions like ours do not have any access to journals. And so as far as the undergraduate students are concerned, there are articles on magazines like journals like Resonance and Current Science. This is the directory of open access journals, again, which houses a large number of journals. So this is good enough for us, especially undergraduate. So teachers can use these resources to do a journal review or a paper writing or something like that. Please go through these resources. All of these are hyperlinked. Of course, social media. All of you know YouTube, that there are a huge number of resources, but I would like to caution you that some of these, and anybody and everybody posts on YouTube, so be careful. The social media Pinterest is particularly interesting. Okay, it gives you reaction mechanisms. So we can use this as a revision for our studies. Some of them can be, printed and can be used as flashcards for studying. Please look at Facebook. Yes, times have changed. Once upon a time, Facebook was a big no-no, right? I told my students that I cannot become friends on Facebook, but now I have to be on Facebook so that I can connect with my students. So times have really changed. So on Facebook, there are many groups that discuss chemistry problems. If you're part of this group, you have excellent academic discussion on Facebook. So that was just an overview of what is possible, what are the resources that are available on the internet. But when you're looking at resources and searching for resources on the internet, okay, look at strategies. So where is the search engine? All of us are so used to using Google. Google has the largest number of resources, no doubt about it. But if you're looking at journals or papers, then you would be better off by using Google Scholar, for example. Bing, Yahoo, DuckDuckGo, Dogpile, all these are good search engines which you should try and not get stuck to Google alone. While searching, use specific keywords. Okay, otherwise the internet is an ocean and it throws up a huge number of resources from which you have to search what you require. Simplify your search terms. Often, if you can put your search term with a quotation mark, then the search will send out only those that are required specifically for your search. So put your search terms in quotation marks, and you see that the number of resources are completely have reduced a lot. Remove unhelpful words and beware of search pitfalls. Don't get drowned in the search in the amount of resources that come. This was already referred to by Dr. Kumar. So while looking at resources from the net, be careful that it is a proper site, that it is accurate, it is reliable, it is current, and it is relevant to the audience that you are presenting. Now, if you have taken these resources and you want to use it in your project or your thesis or your say paper, then you have to take care of copyright issues. Okay, very often in India we don't worry about this. We just take, if it is on the net, then it is everybody's property. It doesn't work like that, and more and more as we go forward, we have to take care of this issue. Okay, it would be you would not like somebody to use your content without taking your permission. So the Creative Commons license is a way which is a standardized way of granting permission to others to use your work, right? So every time you come across open resources, they will be usually classified under a Creative Commons license. So the Creative Commons license tells you what you can do with a particular work, right? There are 6 different types of Creative Commons licenses. The Creative Commons licenses, that is a whole different lecture. But just to give you an overview, it is Creative Commons by, CC BY, which means you have to give attribution to the author. So the public domain, where you don't have to attribute at all. Okay, so you can take pictures from Pixabay, for example. But here, this is a license where the author gives you complete freedom to use his resource, but you must attribute the work to him. CC BY SA means that you have to share alike. That means any resource that you create from these resources must be shared by using the same license. So CC BY NC, NC means non-commercial. That means you can use it only for academic purposes. CC BY NC-SA, and I think you get the idea. Non-derivative, right? Some of them will not allow you to modify. So you cannot repurpose. So you have to use it as such. So no derivatives are allowed. And the next extension is CC BY NC-ND. Right? So if you have created a resource and you want to share it, consider using a particular Creative Commons license and put it up. Okay, so that whatever work you have done is useful for a large number of people. Okay, finally, this is an attribution builder, right? So more and more in the new world, you're not going to be able to do everything yourself. You need to collaborate. So your students need to collaborate amongst themselves. We need to collaborate with our students, and finally we need to collaborate with the whole world. Okay, and therefore it is important that we attribute. We don't take things. It is like in the real world, if you take things without people's permission, it is called stealing. The same principle applies even on the net, and therefore whenever you take resources that are created by others, you have to attribute this. So attribution builder is a resource which helps you how to give credit to the original author for something that you are using in your material. It could be your thesis or your paper or something like that. Okay, so it's really very simple. So what you need to do, it's not opening. Okay, so this is the title of the resource that you are using. You can put the URL of the resource wherever it is available on the internet, the name of the author, if the author has his own page. So as you keep inputting things here, the attribution builder builds the attribution, right? So if I say a title, let me say green chemistry. right? I put some URL, that is the URL where you are housing that, okay? And then I say, let me say Gomati, for example, okay? And let me, you can put there. So if it is American Chemical Society, okay? So the attribution builder builds up the attribution based on the information that you're inputting in these windows. And then all you need to do is to copy this and put it in your paper or your resource. This way, everyone knows that you're not claiming this as your own work. This is you're giving credit to the original author. I hope all of you can explore this, right? And you can choose a proper license for putting your work on the net. Finally, as I said, that you need to store these resources properly. Okay, there is a huge number of resources and time is limited. Okay, so if you have done a search, consider seeing that you have stored whatever you have searched through so that you can retrieve it when it is required. One of the tools for doing that is Wakelet.com. So let us see a little bit of Wakelet. And it is really a very interesting tool, and which helps you to store and retrieve these resources as and when required. Okay, so I have already logged in. I don't think I need to tell anyone how to log in. I created this specifically for today's lecture. So if you want to create a new collection, for example, suppose you are searching for green chemistry, okay? So you create a new collection. Say that this is green chemistry, okay? When you do that, it will have something like this, an interface like this. So if I have not put anything here because I wanted to show you how to build it up, okay? So for this, you can, this is my collection for tools for teaching. This is a topic that interests me. So I can edit this collection. When I edit this collection, you can have several things to do. You can add a cover image for this. You can also write a description. So I say these are some of the tools that will help teachers to teach, for example. I can also put up a cover image. When I click on this plus sign, right, this allows you to store the URL that you have just seen, or it allows to add text. So you take the URL and you add text here saying that this site has so and so information. Take care of this YouTube, right? So suppose you have seen a YouTube video which you find is very useful. You can copy this and keep it here, or you can even store it here. Okay, tweets, bookmarks. I told you to remember, so you can copy that bookmark and paste it here. So you don't have to copy the entire page or entire resource. Images, PDFs, Google Drive can be you can store the information as well as videos. Okay, I find this extremely useful because not only can I do all this, but I can also invite collaborators. So right now this is private, okay, but I can invite collaborators and I can give this code just as it works for other sites. So there can be a QR code, there can be a link which I can share, or I can invite using username or email, and this can be a resource that can be built up by collaborators. So you can share it with your students and your students can build on it, right? Students can collaborate amongst themselves and they can build up this collection of materials with respect to a particular topic. So it is not only a tool for sharing, for storing and retrieval of resources, but it's also a collaborative tool. So I have talked about this in class. So our next project is to use Wakelet and look at a collection of resources for particular topics. Yeah, okay. I hope I'm still online. Yes. So please explore Wakelet, and some of you students will be much better in this than me. Right. Finally, some thoughts as a teacher who had to go online, transition online on an emergency basis, and who had to learn the tools from scratch, but who completely understands that we have no other option. So it is important when you're online and offline, okay, because some of these resources are to be used even when you go in the physical state, because technology has entered our lives, and we must embrace it and use it to our to the best. So be sure of what you want to do. Why do you want to use online resources, right? What is the advantage of an online resource? How will it augment your teaching? Please understand that this is a great opportunity, and embrace technology, as I have said. Thank you very much, Dr. Shiv Swarup of IGNOU, Dr. Lakshmi Ravi Shankar, my guide, who is responsible for whatever I am today, my friends, Dr. Gulshan and Ms. Pratiksha, Dr. Indira Kuneru from ICAFI, who was my mentor for one of the projects and who introduced me to all the tools. And finally, to all of you participants who very patiently have heard me for the last half an hour, 45 minutes or so. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I will answer them. I have to say that Dr. Kulkarni has answered most of the questions, and I hope you like this presentation. I will share this presentation with Dr. Shiv Swarup, and all of you can use all those resources that I have put together. I had a lot of fun putting those resources together, and I hope it is really useful to all of you. This is me, Gomati Sridhar, Department of Chemistry, my email ID and my mobile number. Look forward to interacting with some of you and sharing of resources. Thank you very much, Dr. Shiv Swarup. I have finished whatever I want to say. If there are any questions, I'm more than willing to answer.
Thank you, Dr. Gomati Sridhar, for your excellent talk of a view of all the resources available, starting from Royal Society and American Chemical Society and spoken tutorials and so many things. And we have some students along with us on Zoom. If anyone has any question, they can ask for 1 minute. The lecture is very informative, and you have shown the lively sessions so that people are, and anyway, all these videos are available on record in the YouTube channel of IGNOU Nagpur. So they can watch the video anytime and they can note down the whatever they want. So now I request Dr. Shakti Sharma to propose a vote of thanks for all the resource persons. Please.
Thank you so much, sir. A very warm welcome to all present dignitaries here, most valued invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. I, on behalf of entire organizing team, propose a vote of thanks to all those who have contributed in making this event an academic feast. We are extremely grateful to Dr. M. Sangum Sir, Regional Service Division, IGNOU, New Delhi, for accepting our invitation and graciously being on with us for this webinar and delivering the inaugural address. We are fortunate to have renowned speakers, and we extend a hearty thanks to all speakers for gracing the event and sharing with us their findings and opinions. The session witnessed latest evidence-based knowledge in areas of advanced e-learning. We are extremely grateful to Professor Suvarn Kulkarni, Professor of Chemistry, IIT Bombay, for creating an awareness about the effective and student-centering teaching method. Yes, it is time for teachers to develop creativity and teaching and be the facilitators in this autonomy of learning. Sir, your session itself was very interesting and creative. Thank you very much, sir. We extend a warm thanks to Professor Sanjeev Kumar, Professor of Chemistry, IGNOU New Delhi, for making the introduction and elaborate database from where we can get interactive learning materials, which would not only be a resource material for faculty and students, but can also be used to make our teaching more innovative and effective. As pandemic has changed the role of teachers from not only teaching to an attractive teaching. Sir, your videos would be a strong learning support to students as well as for faculty members. A sincere thanks is due to Dr. Mrs. Gomati Sridhar, Head Department of Chemistry, VKKM College of Commerce and Economics and SSDG College of Science, Mumbai, for her elaborate talk on various online database and tools for e-content available from national as well as international platform, and also how to judge the integrity of the online content. Ma'am, we have learned also how to manage your data online using various apps. Even ma'am, your information on understand Creative Commons license is used as the need of the hour, as we need to acknowledge the author when using their online data. A sincere thanks to all the speakers. Your presence has made this conference an excellent academic feast. No event is planned in a day. It takes days of planning and untiring efforts of the organizing committee. We extend our thanks to organizing committee and staff of IGNOU Regional Center, Nagpur. The wheel starts rolling weeks ago. It requires planning and a bird's eye for detail. We are thankful to Dr. Shiv Sarup Sir, Regional Director, Nagpur Regional Center, for his able guidance and motivation. I really cannot thank enough to all our lovely, wonderful participants for gracing the occasion and making it great success. Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Kulkarni and Dr. Gomti Sridhar. And I also thank Dr. Shakti Sharma for her wonderful vote of thanks. Thank you very much. We will stop here. Thank you.